show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Samira Sawhney, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check our official website www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former Chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk. The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former Chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samira Sawhney, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing, and I do mean nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch, of course, is where we talk, and also where we banter too. What that was? Yeah, gotta love it. But you know what? www.pitch-talk.com is the official website where you can find out what is going on with your Monday night footballing fix. And also, good evening to everyone on the YouTube feed, by the way. Hello. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? No, it's Pitch Talk you're looking for. But anyway, I know that wasn't the lyrics, but still. Mike. No, pitch-talk.com is the official website. Also, we're on facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become fan, become friend, become member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. Also, myspace.com/Pitch Talk, pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs by yours truly. I know you can see that on the YouTube feed. Hey, by yours truly, straight shooting LJA, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, and many others, including.
Wait. As John Sitton put, it's not Jazzy Fizzle no more.
It's not Chris Rock with dreads. It's Chris Rock with dreads. Oh, that was kind of fun. Big shout out to John Sitton, whose book is actually coming out soon. The Real Sits. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Pre-order that at vgtips.co.uk right now. And also, if you're horse racing, betting, and football betting tips, vgtips.co.uk is where you need to go. Big shout out to Vernon Grant, who is the ghostwriter of John Sitton's book. Also, twitter.com /pitch talk or at pitch talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we're up to. YouTube.com /pitch talk for all the latest videos, including Pitch Talk Meets. Remember, Pitch Talk meets Sahel Raymond, and also Pitch Talk meets On the Ball. We ain't forgotten about them. Been a bit delayed, but we ain't forgotten about them. They will be coming out soon. Keep your eyes peeled for both of those Pitch Talk meets interviews. Also, Pitch Talk live on Google. And also, I see. What's that in my hand? It's called a mobile phone. And West Brom has just taken the lead. Stefan Sessegnon on 7 minutes. Wow. Now, it's one of them ones where, West Brom have the lead at the Hawthorns against Man United. It's one of them ones. Long kick out from my hill. Nothing wrong with that.
Check the pace.
Bloody hell, good pace down the right-hand side. Ball cut into the middle. And Sessegnon with a brilliant finish into the top right-hand corner. Keeper, no chance. Defenders, no chance. Well, Rojo was nowhere near. Jezzy Fizzle, sorry, dude. Life sucks. I think you die right now. But it's one of them ones, man. Wow. What a finish. And Alan Irvine, you may well be delighted, son, because that was a fantastic finish from Stefan Sessegnon, who gets his first league goal this season. And you know what? Berahino, he's hilarious. But you know what, Fact of the matter is, West Brom 1, Manchester United 0, almost 9 minutes gone. But as we were saying, youtube.com /pitch talk, at pitch talk on Twitter as well. Facebook too. It's one of them on 07535804466 is the mobile number, and we are Pitch Talk 1 on Skype as well. You know what? We do have a few Skypers in the house. We got Tom Wood, we got Mike Kahneman, we got Russ Vernon, we got Ian Kerr of Thin White Line, and we've also got Jamie Two-Man Bailey as well. So that's never going to die. But it's one of them ones. So we got a few Skypers in the house who we're going to get the opinions of during the show. Also, remember Ian Kerr of Thin White Line, the editor of Thin White Line. Big shout outs actually to thinwhitelinemagazine.com, who have a special offer running at the moment. And that is Pitch Talk listeners can get 25% off anything in the Thin White Line store this week. All you got to do, enter the coupon Pitch Talk, no spaces, Pitch Talk at checkout. So it's one of them ones you can get 25%. There's a couple of issues at the magazine up there. There's a nice looking black t-shirt as well. So it's one of them ones. Get yourself over to www.thinwhitelinemagazine.com and also facebook.com /Thin White Line Magazine and at Tweet White Line on Twitter as well. Also, big shout outs to Motivate Sports and Fitness. Big shout outs to Girls on the Ball as well, at Girls on the Ball and girlsontheball.com and twitter.com /MotivateSF at MotivateSF on Twitter. And it's one of them ones, man. Big shout out to the Section 357 show too. Now, you know what? As I said, we've got a lot of show to get through tonight. So, G-Man, you ready to roll?
Yo, I'm ready to quit cracking.
Quit cracking or get cracking?
Get cracking.
I was going to say quit and crack. That's something to put on your to-do list. Not that I'm saying you are of that way or you have that affliction. I'm not saying that before someone gets the wrong end of the stick. Actually, let's just switch into the first segment of the show, which, as always, is... results and analysis. It's results and analysis. Let's roll straight into results and analysis. And you know what? We're going to start Tuesday, October 14th, 2014. Germany 1, Republic of Ireland 1. Tony Kroos opening the scoring on 71 minutes. and John O'Shea equalizing on 94 minutes. I mean, you know what? Yeah, a great result for the Republic of Ireland in the European Championship qualifying group, and that's Group D. Fantastic result.
Yeah, it's a big result for them
against the current world champions. But I mean, it's one of them was the Germany team have had a lot of guys retire after that World Cup win. Retire on top, why not? So it's a case of there's that little transitional period. Anyone predicting the demise of Germany after 3-4 games after the World Cup is a moron in my view. But that's just my view. But what do you reckon?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's a bit hastily to say the demise of Germany, but it's always going to be hard to pick themselves back up after the victory because it's, you know, they're still on cloud nine. Some of the German lads, but that will be damaging to their confidence considering you know, having lost to Poland in the game beforehand. So Germany need to pick themselves up quick. Just pick themselves up.
Dust yourself off and try again. we want it. When was this 5 knuckle shuffle time? No, not that kind. Oh god, someone's gonna be a wrong one on that one. I meant the John Cena move where he brushes his shoulder off. That's the 5 knuckle shuffle that I was talking about. Probably from like 2004, 2005, but yeah, still. Anyway, moving on. Jamie Bailey, you wanted to jump in on Germany, Republic of Ireland, and hello, by the way.
Yeah, hello, Emmanuel Boy.
I thought he was trying to do a Felix Magath impression. I just said, hello, I am Jamie Bailey. I would like to talk on Pitch Talk tonight. But Jamie, how goes it? And Germany, Republic of Ireland, how about it?
Still got your injuries, I see. Well done, Lady King.
Injuries. Hey, I was playing this weekend. Well, hey, no, you know what? Yeah, actually, you know what? You started something you may not be able to finish. I got a little bone to pick with you. Where were you for the Ibis Freeze this weekend?
I was actually playing in another game.
This one was playing in another game, you know. Oh my god.
And G-Man, I don't think you should be getting away with this one. Hence the reason why you've been quiet. Considering that you asked me if I should go to the Arsenal Hull game.
So everyone's conspiring against the Ibis Freeze. More on that later.
There was no conspiracy there. I was just trying to find a willing participant to take the tickets off my hands.
Glad you didn't say a willy participant.
That's what I heard.
I thought I heard a slip of the tongue.
Anyway, yeah. I'm actually quite happy about this result, but I also know that it means little if we don't actually get to the Euros. So with that withstanding, I'm quite pleased that the Irish actually got the result. But I also know that there was a lot of players that were missing for Germany still to come back, and obviously still to some of them obviously have retired. So technically, the team that beat us 6-1 a year ago, 2 years ago now, pretty much wasn't there last week. So I'm actually quite happy, and the result pretty much says it all. If Germany are going to go anywhere, then they're going to have to step up their game, very much so.
No, of course,
yeah,
but it is a transitional period, so it's one of them.
Well, I'm happy because the transitional period has so happened to come in the group that we're in, and still we're yet to lose. And I don't want to be giving us any jinx or voodoos or hoodoos or whatever. But
dude doesn't want to go Papa Shango on this.
Nah, we've got the US in a friendly, and then we've got Scotland after that, and that's the biggest issue. I think is going to be whether we actually can compete against Scotland or battle for second place against Poland. So that's the biggest issue. And if all three of us can actually go past Germany in the group, then even better.
Man,
be looking forward to revenge against France.
It's all there was after that. Yeah, after Thierry Henry's attempt at volleyball on a football pitch, it was mad.
More than volleyball, but we'll leave it at that.
Wow.
I think you said something about a 5 knuckle shuffle.
Was it handball fives? Handball fives. But no, I mean, it's one of them. I'm leaving that one totally alone.
You're trying to lead him down the wrong path.
Exactly. I don't really need leading down that path. United are actually trying to really press against West Brom, but West Brom holding firm so far.
And they normally do.
Yeah. But you know what? Yeah, let's shift on in qualifying Group B. Gibraltar 0, Georgia 3. Jelashvili opening the scoring on 9 minutes, with Okriashvili scoring on 19 minutes. I'm not ribbing you with these names, seriously. But Kankava scored on 69 minutes. Papunashvili was booked on 87 minutes. All I'm seeing is Ashvili. Where's Aspili? Oh no, that's Aspili. Aspilicueta! But it's one of them was Ashvili in the Georgian team. It's hilarious. Well, what's it? All I can think of right now was a Jerry the King Lawler joke that he dropped about Alabama in 2000. 15 million people. Was it 2 million people, 15 last names and all that. And it's like, oh, it's cruel stuff. But you know what? Yeah, Poland 2, Scotland 2. Makzinski scoring on 11 minutes. Maloney scoring on 18 minutes. Naismith scoring on 57 minutes. And Milik equalizing on 76 minutes. From Group E, qualifying Group E, San Marino 0, Switzerland 4. Seferovic got 2 goals, the first of which on 24 minutes, the second on 10 minutes. And Zemalili scored on 30 minutes, and Sheridan Shaqiri scored on 79 minutes. As United have a shot on target from Angel Di Maria. Let's go for Group F. Faroe Islands 0, Hungary 1. Zalai scoring the only goal of the game on 21 minutes. Finland 0, Romania 2. Stanku scoring twice, actually. Scoring on 54 minutes and on 83 minutes. And Ring got sent off on 56 minutes. A Ring. I couldn't make that name up if I wanted to. Yeah. But Greece 0, Northern Ireland 2. Ward scoring on 9 minutes and Kyle Lafferty scoring on 51 minutes. Group I, Denmark 0, Portugal 1. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring on 95 minutes. He was also booked on 92 minutes.
You know what? I got to say, I did see bits and pieces of this match, and in regards to Portugal, I've got to say they're that team here where, you know, they've got some of the best players in the world, but they just can't perform with one another. They still just can't perform with one another. It's like watching Portugal when they had Figo, Beto, and those sort of players. Like, you know, you got Ronaldo, you got Nani, you know, but Nani had how many chances to score in this game? He couldn't find the target. Ronaldo had, you know, a lot of possession at times, but, you know, until his goal came on that 93rd minute, which they were lucky to get. Yeah. And in terms of Denmark had some good chances to actually win that game themselves. They actually hit the post. And Portugal can count themselves lucky. Very lucky.
It's one of them. I mean, it's one of them ones. I mean,
I think Portugal will be a waste of a team to take to the next tournament. I don't think they're good enough.
Well, I mean, the sum of their parts is not brilliant. I mean, they're like I said during the World Cup. Apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, they're an average J Brown side.
Yeah,
they really are.
That was a bit harsh what I just said there, though. Waste of a team, not worth taking tournament.
Well, if you're relying solely on one player, hey,
I check myself on that one.
Right. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chickity check yourself. You know what he's doing them ones already. Don't push G cause he's close to the edge. Now you know what, yeah. Let's actually move on to where are we gonna move on to? Let's shift on to Friday, 17th of October 2014. Quite an interesting result in the Sky Bet Championship. And the reason we're mentioning this is just purely on the basis. It's just purely on the basis that one of the Pitch Talk family we thought would have had split allegiances. because Rotherham 2, Leeds United 1. And it was one of them ones. Antonucci opened the scoring on 30 minutes for Leeds, but Leeds still ended up getting beaten. I just like to say that. Leeds still ended up getting beaten. And because Ravel scored on 58 minutes and Clark Harris scored on 65 minutes. Now, we'd like to ask, Ross Vernon, what did you think about the game? And also, did you have split allegiances, considering you're from Rotherham, but you support Leeds? Was there any split allegiances there? Because we know you're a fan of Rotherham too. So what was your view on the match?
Yes, but first of all, I just want to point out, my heart is set with Leeds United. They're the first team. So I just want to say that, first and foremost.
Well, your heart's with Leeds and your distance is Rotherham.
Leeds is my main team, and that's where it will be. And I must say, it was a game of two halves. Leeds much better of the first half, and for me, I think Rotherham could have been. It didn't show you Rotherham could have been down to 10 men on 15 minutes. Ben Pringle grabbed hold of Rudolph Austin by his neck and chucked him down to the ground.
Choke slam! Choke slam! Choke slam! Oh my God! There was a nice a nice judo hip throw in the Bradford Sheffield United match. Yeah. Go on, Ross. How goes it? Go on then.
Yeah, with both hands in front of the referee. Not even a yellow card, just a talking to.
Oh wait,
for me that was a definite red card offence. And then a few moments later, Jason Pearce got a cut below his eye after Alex Ravel elbowed him in the face. And then we went on until the lead through a fantastic goal by Antonucci. Stayed onside this time. Normally he gets caught offside in those situations. And he stayed onside this time to slot home for Spurs. A deserved 1-0 in the front. And then in the second half, Steve Evans, Fatty Steve Evans as everyone knows him as at the moment, managed to tweak it to be better. And Ravel, for me, who should have been on the pitch after that elbow in the first half, equalised. After a good save from Sylvester, but Warnock reacted a little late to the follow-up, and Ravel scored. And then after the game, Steve Evans said there was a foul in the build-up to Jonathan Clark-Harris's goal. And for me, I was speaking to another Arsenal fan today, came out from college, one of the tutors. He actually watched the game. He said Pringle should have been sent off, and the referee should have given a free kick to Leeds when on the build-up to Rotherham's second goal for a foul on Bianchi from Alex Ravel in the build-up to Jonathan Clark-Harris's goal. But I must say, the Clark-Harris goal, I don't know what you're thinking, but for me, that's one of the goal of the week contenders. And the under-21s, which I'm just watching live on Pitch Talk, currently trail 1-0 to Colchester tonight, with 2 new signings in that team, Del Fabio and Montenegro in the lineup.
Nice one on that one, Ross. Nice one on that one. And you know what? Yeah, our next result actually, shifting on from Friday 17th of October to Saturday 18th of October 2014. Where are we going to go to? Actually, you know what, G-Man, you will take pleasure in this result, considering where your footballing allegiance is like. You want to take it?
Yeah, Saturday the 18th of October. The early match, Manchester City 4, the Tottenham 1. Yeah, and Sergio Aguero scored on the 13th minute. He scored a penalty on the 20th minute. He then went and scored another penalty on the 68th minute. And he scored on the 75th minute. And Christian Eriksen did score an equalising goal in the 15th minute.
Good finish.
Good finish.
Yeah.
Which was a good finish. And you know, I got to admit, I never saw much of this match, but I did see the goals, Sergio Aguero's goals, and it actually looked like Sergio Aguero versus Tottenham, because he was rampant. He could have had more than the 4 goals that he had. He could have had 6, 7 goals.
The missed penalty as well. That's one of them.
just
Well, Fazio got sent off on his debut for one of the penalties, which was hilarious. Both of the penalties for me, Stonewall penalties, especially Cabool's one. It's like, dude, why are you going to ground for? There's no need. But I mean, his one was both penalties, Stonewall penalties, especially the one with Lamella going into the back of Lampard was funny. But yeah, the fact that Aguero scored a penalty and missed one, and it's like, and then you see Soldado's penalty was poor.
Yeah,
it really was a poor penalty.
Well,
He
it
made it easy for the goalkeeper. So it was one of them ones. And by the way, big shout out to the post-match playmaker group. And you know what? And a big shout out especially to the admin of the group, which is Tyrone Dominique. You want to post? I just want to say you want to post. You want to post stuff about Balotelli stats. You might want to keep your eyes on Soldado. That's all. I'm going to leave it as that. Feel free to rebuttal. We'd love to hear you. Pitch Talk 1 on Skype. 07535804466 is the mobile number as well. We'd love to hear a response. Fantastic. That said, big shout out to the post-match playmaker Facebook group. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones. I mean, the goals were. I mean, Tottenham carved apart once again by a big side, and they always. I mean, they've had this against Man City before.
Yeah.
Conceding 11 goals against them last season. I think that I'm not even scoring. It's one of them ones where it's like conceding 11 goals against the same team in 2 games. Nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But yeah, I mean,
I do say hat says go off to Aguero because he had a stunning match.
Oh, that's player of the week contention easily. Yeah. Same with Wesley Sneijder in the derby between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce. Wow. 2 brilliant goals. So stuff for the weeks later in the show, by the way. Stick around for that. But it's one of them ones. I mean, Aguero is on a hot streak. But I think
9 goals this season.
Yeah, I think it's one of them ones where he's getting ignored a little bit because of Diego Costa's form.
You gotta say he did score 4 goals in this game. But
I mean leading up to this match. Leading up to this match, all the hype has been about Diego Costa.
Yeah,
and it seemed. I'm not saying Aguero's have gotten mad, far from it. But
it's like the new toy in the bunch, isn't it? At Christmas time.
Yeah,
everyone's interested in that new toy. Wants to see how it performs. Diego Costa definitely is performing.
Say, what toys are you talking about in terms of performs? Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave that on the side. Kerbal
talking about Hot Wheels, man. Hot Wheels
leading the way. But do any of our Skypers actually want to jump in on Tottenham v Arsenal? Let us know in the Skype chat. Sorry, Tottenham v Man City, that is. Man City v Tottenham. There we go. All right, Jamie Bailey, you want to jump in?
I think it kind of shows the there's a big massive gap between the top 2 now and the rest of the Premiership, and it's almost becoming like the Spanish league. So it's almost we've got Manchester City and Chelsea pretty much running right in the league, and everybody just trying to catch up and trying to play for 3rd and 4th place. I don't know what's going to happen between Southampton and West Ham and all the other teams. I don't think they'll keep up, but they'll have a good shout to get the Euro places, and that's also for the Champions League final spot as well. But I'll let everybody talk about the Arsenal result later on. As far as I'm concerned, it's now a 2-horse race, and that's even saying it from now.
I think it's way too early.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say he's got a fair point about the consistency.
I think you'll know if Manchester United do get beaten next week. If not, then it still is for me. It still is whether it's City or Chelsea can actually win the title.
But the thing is, exactly that same thing was said last year. Exactly this kind of hot streak is what Chelsea had last year. They were turning teams over 6-7-1 and that. Yeah. So it's one of them. Out of the 3 of them. Yeah, City ended up doing it because Liverpool flopped.
Yeah, and look how look how everything changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Look how Arsenal were leading for 128 days. Sorry.
Yeah, look how City started last season.
And I don't.
It's one of them. So it's one of them.
In the team just to do that run.
Yeah, but the thing is with them winning the title. But then it's one of them was with City winning the title last season. A lot of that was down to Liverpool throwing it away.
Okay,
So
well, if you look at it, if we're talking about this season, forgetting about last season, and if you look at last season, you had Luis Suarez. Now,
you can't forget about last season because at the end of the day, but because this season isn't even 10 games old yet.
It's not even about whether it's 10 games old.
But it is.
Arsenal, if you look at it, Chelsea have beaten Arsenal 2-0. Manchester City have just beaten Spurs 4-1. Who was the top five out of last season? Liverpool haven't faced either team. Well, they have, and they've been beaten by Man City.
Yeah, but usually you narrow that. Usually the mini league is between the top four.
Have to go to either to Stamford Bridge or the Etihad and actually produce a decent performance or a great result. One of the two. If not, then it's still going to be the same two. And as much as everybody's trying to convince me to say that it's only October, you're not going to.
No, we're not trying to convince you. We're just giving the other. Oh, God. You know what? This is eerily reminiscent of something that of not even an argument or a debate, but a little commenting back and forth that I had with a guy called Johnny Baderman Bennett in the Post-Match Playmaker Facebook group. And it's just frustrating when people think you're trying to change their mind when all you're doing is offering the other side of the argument.
An opinion.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of them ones. I'm not trying to change. I'm not trying to change your mind. This isn't a Tame Impala reference where it's like, why don't you make up your mind? Hey, give me a sign. No. This isn't a Tame Impala reference. It's a case of I'm just offering the other side of the coin because every argument has two sides. So it's one.
I just think at the moment the side of it at the moment it just seems to be, whereas the two teams that are at the top of the league are not really going to relinquish that position this season. I can't see it. Or if they do, then they're just going to quickly find a way just to bounce back. I said just to do.
But the thing is, you know what? The thing is, people said that last season, so it's one.
You know, I just want to add. I understand what you're saying in terms of consistency. Manchester City and Chelsea are really consistent, and they have been for the last 5 years or so. But in terms of what Liam's just said, it's too early, way too early to start pulling out who's gonna win the league. I think it's too early.
Wait, Jamie, we got to shift on. Jamie, we got to shift on because of time though. Because Mike Heineman also wanted to jump in as well. Mike, what did you want to say about Man City v Tottenham?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I thought Man City really deserved the win. I thought they played some really good football. I think all of them were penalties, even the Soldado one that was missed. I think the referee got every decision penalty-wise spot on. Yeah. And basically, to kind of come back at what Jamie was saying there a little bit, not really going to go into it much, but I kind of agree that it's too early in the season. Obviously, with Arsenal, we're getting quite a lot of draws at the moment where people are saying, we should be beating these sort of teams and so on, which I'm going to agree with. But it is still early days, and obviously the consistency level between Chelsea and City has been like that for a while, but I don't think Chelsea will go unbeaten this season. I think they'll drop points.
Oh yeah, I mean there's holes to be picked in that defense. We'll get into that in a second, actually. But speaking of getting into it, G-Man, next result is actually yours as it happens.
Oh yeah, so next result is you have a North London club, the best club in North London, the best club in South London, the best club in London. No, sorry, what? Sounds like a what?
You almost forgot about it. Yeah, the other North London club, the best one in North London. It's like you're catching yourself.
But anyway, yeah, Arsenal 2, Hull 2. Alexis Sanchez scoring on the 13th minute with absolute, what I want to say, great run. One of the best goals I've seen live at the Emirates with his twinkle toes.
Twinkle.
Faint move to the right, shifting the whole defender totally to the left and putting it past the keeper. Then Diame scoring 4 minutes later. Contentious goal, in terms of that he dragged back from Flamini, but you know what? Firmini should have showed more. Firmini should have showed more strength there, and you know, in terms of why he was holding on to the ball for so long anyway, with the army running up behind him, is incredible. To me, you know, I've seen the way you defend, and I'm not trying to use you as an example against the Premier League elite, but I'm saying I've seen the way you defend, and it's boot the ball out. If you feel like you're under pressure,
if in doubt, get it out. That's what
boot the ball out. That's what he should have done. He tried to hold on for it too long. Then he tried to tap it back. He got caught up. The army was in his face. The army literally had his hand in his face, ran past him, and dipped it over Szczesny. Who, to be honest,
it was a good finish. It was a good finish, but it shouldn't.
Szczesny tried to show him body, but it just he got it past the keeper. And then on the strike of the second half, Hernandez scores on the 46th minute, and this is one of Arsenal's greatest problems.
Very neatly done from back to front. That goal was nice.
It was, and it was a great header. But this is Arsenal's problem. What the hell Mertesacker was doing, like in terms of he should have been in front of Hernandez. There's no way he should have given Hernandez the time. Drew himself back and thought by actually drawing himself back that Hernandez would stop his run. I don't understand. If you watch it again, you'll see like he hesitated, and it seemed like what was he thinking?
Ballsack. I mean,
Mertesacker gave him the opportunity.
I don't know how Mertesacker gets out jumped. He's huge.
But after a lot of pressure with 93rd, well, I think it was 91st or 93rd minute, Danny Welbeck scored the equaliser, and once again, Arsenal mighty lucky to get that equaliser. But I've got to say that's only to Hull's cheating. I've got to say they
gonna say to their credit, and he goes,
no, I wasn't gonna say to the credit, because Arsenal's credit they kept going, but because Hull cheated, it came back and it struck them in the foot, because the 7 minutes that was given in extra time potentially could not been if Hull didn't, you know.
Yeah, after the Ibis match, I was thinking, where did 7 minutes come from?
Well, what happened basically in the last 20 minutes? Yeah, and it was happening throughout the match, but in the last 20 minutes, Hull constantly, players were dropping on the floor, feigning injury, taking 3 to 4 minutes, you know, to get up off the floor. Stretchers were coming onto the pitch. They would jump up, then they'll take that long walk to get off the pitch, which was in the end, which is a hindrance to them, because everyone knows Arsenal are pretty strong in the last 10 minutes of games, especially when they're chasing.
But you like to come from behind a lot, and no, not in that way.
Wow.
But the fact, no, they always say no. It's been said a lot that Arsenal like to come from behind, and the fact is, it's one of them where you got. I mean, teams want to break up your passing rhythm. Like I said to you off air, it's a case of teams will do anything to do that, and it sounds like Hull City were just trying to stop the game, disjoint it, so you lot couldn't get any real rhythm.
No, that's totally how it went, and it did work. It did work in a sense, but in terms of them actually getting a good, well-earned victory, which it would have been, you know, they kind of flopped themselves, because at the end of the day, it handed the impetus to Arsenal, who then went on to score the equaliser. And I've got to say, scraping a 2-2 draw at home to Hull City, no discredit to Hull, so don't think I'm being disrespectful to any Hull supporters out there, but you know what? Those are the sort of matches, if we are going to say that we want to win the league, you know, or be credible in the Champions League, those are the sort of matches that we need to be winning. And we need to be winning soundly. You know, once you go 1-0 up, you should be taking the game by the throat and absolutely destroying teams. Yeah, or at least being able to contain a 1-0 lead to half time at least, and to concede 4 minutes after you've just scored a goal and then concede like on the first minute of the second half, it's shambolic.
Question for you, and this was asked on the post-match playmaker group. I know my answer. What was the worst result? Tottenham losing 4-1 to Man City, as everybody expected, or you lot scraping a draw against Hull City, which everyone expects you to beat Hull?
What was the worst result?
Yeah.
Well,
I know my answer.
What was the first? Wait, let me do
that question was asked for the Post-Match Playmaker group originally by
do
Johnny Badderman Bennett, and I thought it was a stupid question.
I would do an Arsene Wenger. What do you mean? What was the? Did you not watch the match? Did you not watch the matches? I don't understand your question. What are you asking?
Do I look like Jackie Oatley?
Did you not watch the match? No, but on a level, on a level, a point's a point. You get me? A point is still a point. You know, we salvaged ourselves from being beaten. That's what happened there. Tottenham lost. They lost 3 points. But in terms of, was it a bigger loss than losing those 2 points to Hull? You can never know until the end of the season. I don't know. I'm saying at the moment, a point's a point. Yeah. We salvaged the draw.
I was gonna say it's one of them. Was like I said in the Post-Match Playmaker group. It's a case of you can't drop 2 points. If we're going factual here and literal, you actually can't drop 2 points. It's either you get no points, you get 1 point, or you get 3.
Yeah,
that's the long and the short of it. You can't have 3 points and then lose 2 or lose 3. It's either you get this, or this. Very, very literal. And it's one of them ones. It's a footballing cliche. Oh, 2 drop points. Oh, they salvaged 1 point. It's like it's footballing cliche.
It's ignorant terminology, basically.
Yeah.
Saying that you were meant to get 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually disrespectful to the other side. So it's one of them. I just wondered if we were on the same wavelength. Man United in a week's time is going to be fine. But I mean, Mike Harneman, did you want to jump in on Arsenal Hull?
Yeah, I want to answer that question as well. What was posted out, if that's all right.
Feel free.
Yeah, I think for me it's got to be our game at the moment, because a team of Arsenal sort of stature and quality, with the players that we've got, really have to beat someone like Hull. Obviously, nothing against Hull. They went there, they've done a job, and they've done it really well. They basically near enough, apart from added time, executed it to perfection to go there and get the 3 points. But I think that's my main reason behind that. The fact that I think it's our game from the weekend over Tottenham's, because Tottenham were going to lose against Man City. That it would have taken a lot for them to beat them, and a lot of Arsenal fans were going in expecting to basically come through against Hull with a sort of like 2-3-0 at least.
No, I understand the logic. I don't agree with it for the reasons I've stated, but I can understand the logic. If you're expecting something and you don't get it, then it's a lot more it hurts a lot more than if you weren't expecting something and didn't get anything. But then it kind of shows you the two teams. It kind of shows you the caliber of the two sides. But anyway, but hey, in football, usually the only thing for sure is nothing's for sure. So, I mean, Jamie, what did you reckon on Arsenal Hull?
As far as I'm concerned, Wenger needs to go. And as much as you lot keep telling me that I shouldn't be saying those things, it pretty much proves every single time that there needs to be a new manager just to change the system. As much as I've seen it, it's simple. You only just about scraped beating. Oh, it's half time, by the way. Between Albion and United.
Well, Hull, Arsenal v Hull. What was your thoughts on that game in particular?
2-2 just sounds like a pathetic scoreline. And as much as everybody says that the players are really terrible, or they don't trust players, or they don't think there's the right players in that team. Now I'm just looking at it and saying they've been together for a long time. Now you got to start looking at the manager. He's run that club into a business and it's looking good. Now you need to think: is it only business sense why you're keeping him on? Because I don't see how Arsenal are going to do any better with the players that with the system that we seem to be playing. We're playing 4-1-4-1. Why? Against a team that plays 4-5-1 or plays 4-2-3-1, that doesn't work, because you're just going to have teams attacking you all the time. You're going to have the main striker probably being as smart or as tall as either Koscielny or Mertesacker. They're not going to look at the way that it is. And when I watched them against Southampton, it was the same thing. I could see what was going on. It was just pretty much simple with what Pillar was going to be doing, and it's just basic. We know that everybody knows what Arsenal are going to do. They know that, but the problem is that most teams are sussed it out probably 2-3 years ago, and we're still doing the same thing. So have we even changed? No. Have we made a contribution with a trophy?
So what you're trying to say? Arsene Wenger should go, yeah?
I've said this from 2009 when we didn't replace the two biggest players.
All right, fine. Who replaces him then? Because there's no point getting rid of a manager unless you've got someone lined up of equal or higher caliber. So,
this is what
realistically, no. Hold on, wait. I want to know realistically who replaces Arsene Wenger if he goes at the end of the season.
If he goes, he's not likely to go at the end.
No,
of the
but
season.
No. But I need you to answer this question. If Arsene Wenger leaves Arsenal at the end of the 2014-2015 season, realistically, who replaces him?
Realistically?
Yeah, realistically. Who replaces him?
A coach that's coming through the ranks.
Say that again?
A coach that's coming through the ranks.
But who? Have you got a name? Who?
We've got a whole bunch of names in that place.
Craig
Grant, a whole bunch of guys.
But you're basically
but who?
I just said it. Steve Bold, Colin, Gary Lewin, all of those guys can literally manage the team because they've been around it for so long.
You know what? For me, being around the team for a while as an assistant does not guarantee success. But
it's not guaranteeing success, but it means that there's progress within coaches, and this is what I keep saying about even English football. If they're not going to give the opportunity to a smaller a manager that hasn't been tested completely, then it looks like it's not going to happen. It's not going to get any better.
All right.
End of.
You know what? Yeah. We've also got Wayne Schumann who wanted to jump in as well. Wayne, how about it, man?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with that result. Points a point, but at the end of the day, like everyone said, whole of the games that you should be winning, especially at home. And I was just disappointed, going conceding that early in the second half as well, and conceding only a couple of minutes after we went 1-0 up. The Army's goal was never a free kick for me. Flamini got pushed off the ball far too easy. And they made a point on Match of the Day last night saying that if it was a Vieira or a Petit, them kind of players wouldn't be getting pushed off the ball that easy.
But see, for me, that's kind of a moot point though, because it's just bringing up the past. Oh, this wouldn't have happened to this player. This wouldn't have happened to that player.
I think what we're trying to say is we need another player like that because Flamini's not doing it. I've watched so many games of him in this season. He's been fault for so many goals already this season. In Dortmund, he was fault for both them goals. Man City, he was fault for the equaliser in that game, and on Saturday again. He just got pushed off the ball too easy.
But it wasn't. But the fact is, it was a foul. That's what I'm looking at, and the referee didn't give it. So I mean, it's easy to play the blame game. Is where I'm getting.
I don't think it was a foul. I just think he got shrugged off the ball too easy.
I just want to throw this question before we just quickly move on. Basically, just say we had all the players fit right now. Yeah, Wayne.
Yeah.
Would you play Callum Chambers in that defensive midfielder role?
Callum Chambers, probably no. Probably not, because he's been playing at the back for us. I don't think I would play him there.
Do you think he has what it takes to be playing that role? Because a lot of people said Vermaelen could play that role. He never got a chance, and there's a few people saying that Chambers potentially could play that role himself, considering if we had everyone fit, and I mean Debussy and Koscielny back in the team, that he potentially could be the man just behind Jack Wilshere and Aaron Ramsey.
I don't know, unless he was playing it week in, week out, and I saw that he was getting good at it. I can't say because I haven't seen him play that position for us yet.
All right, cool.
So I can't answer that question. If he was playing that week in, week out, and as I said, and he was getting good at it, then I can say, yeah, take Flamini out the team, put him there. But we haven't seen him play that position yet. He's only. But overall, disappointed with it. And as I said, I think. See, everyone's saying Wenger out, Wenger out. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for the last few years, Wenger out. I was saying it 5 years ago, but I hear what people are saying when they say Wenger out. Yeah, if Wenger goes, who will we have? It's no good just getting any old manager in to replace him. We need a good manager, a very good manager to come in and replace him.
So who would you get to replace him realistically?
Who would I get?
Yeah, realistically.
If he wanted it and if he came, Klopp. But I know that he won't leave Dortmund. So at the moment, no one.
Okay. So you're probably better off staying put with Wenger unless you can get that option.
If we can get an option of someone like Klopp to come in, then yeah. But at the moment, you know, it's Wenger's tactics again. Like Jamie said, I don't agree with the one up front. I really don't. And I've said this from last season to this season. I don't agree with it. What's he going to do when Giroud's back? Is he going to drop Welbeck? Or is he going to go two up front? You know, is Welbeck going to sit on the bench for the rest of the season? And if he does, then that's a waste of 16 million net. I don't, what's he going to do with that? And if he does, he's got to go two up top when Giroud's back. Because if we had Giroud and Welbeck up front together, that could be, that could be really good for us, and that could answer a lot of our problems as well.
Well, you know what? In regards to that, we'll see what happens. Because it's gonna be interesting nonetheless. But for now, we got to shift on. By the way, big time shout outs to Elliot Waller and Matt Whitfield, two of the PT family who are whole City fans. And also, big shout out to Kai, who Russ has just mentioned is watching via YouTube. So, Kai, what's up, man? Hope you're enjoying the show. And also, big shout out to Sam Greenham as well. Tom Wood, thank you for that. Sam Greenham, what's up? You know what? Let's shift on to Burnley 1, West Ham 3. Sacco opened the scoring on 49 minutes. Enner Valencia with a quality header on 54 minutes. George Boyd scoring on 60 minutes. And Carlton Cole popping up with a goal on 70 minutes. So that's how you know you're having a bad day when Carlton Cole scores against you. Danny Ings was actually back from injury. So it's one of them ones. Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 2. In a match that saw 2 red cards, but it could have been 3. Oscar opened the scoring on 6 minutes. What a free kick. Wow. That's all I can say. Goal of the week contender. Stuff of the week is later on in the show. Delaney got booked on 30 minutes. Literally a couple minutes after John Terry should have had the same fate. Terry should have been booked as well. But Cesar Azpilicueta got sent off on 40 minutes. And you know what? For me, what a stupid challenge.
It was horrendous.
It was the stud showing clearly over the ball.
And it was literally on the ankle as well.
Yeah, and he was trying to moan about it when he got up. It's like, Richard, no, you ain't got a leg to stand on.
You almost left the player without a leg to stand on.
Exactly. But Fabregas and Fraser Campbell got booked on 41 minutes in the aftermath of that. But Damien Delaney, 2 minutes after that, got himself sent off. Second bookable, 43 minutes. He was already on a yellow and decided to pull back Loic Remy, who needs a haircut and a comb. But yeah, decides to pull back Remy, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? You're already on a yellow. That you know what? Delaney and Azpilicueta definitely need to get -5 stars. They need to get that, because that was just it was just stupid. It really was stupid. You had a man advantage and then you're going to throw it away. But Cesc Fabregas scored after a lovely passing move on 51 minutes. That short, sharp passing, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see Chelsea doing, not parking the bus. Yeah. For all the money that they've spent on players, the big money they've spent on players, that's what you want to see. That's why people get frustrated when Mourinho starts parking the bus. It's one of them ones when you know that players can come out with that. But you know what, yeah? It was one of them. Was Fraser Campbell scored on 90 minutes, but it was too little, too late. Sadly, Everton 3, Aston Villa 0. Jagielka scoring on 18 minutes. Romelu Lukaku scoring on 48 minutes, and Seamus Coleman scoring on 76 minutes. I think Baines got a couple of assists on this as well. But it is one of them ones. Absolutely smacked it. Gotta say, absolutely smacked it. Newcastle United 1, Leicester City 0. Gabriel Obertan, aka the illegitimate love child, it looks like, of Mikhail Silvestre, scoring the only goal on 71 minutes. You know what? Newcastle finally started to pick up a little steam after the difficult start to the season that them and especially Alan Pardew have had. Maybe that result will get the fans off his back temporarily, at least. Maybe, but we shall see.
This is it. Early days. Early days.
Yeah. I mean, Sunderland are hoping this is just early days, because Jonathan Pearce, in the build-up to on the commentary, before the commentary really started, it was a case of that picture with with Virginie and Pele was hilarious. Virginie looked like he wanted to box Pele. I would have looked that way too. But the thing is, with this game was just the weirdest game of the weekend, because I can't repeat on air my initial reaction to when it was set straight after the Ibis game. It was a case of, I legitimately can't repeat on air what I said, but it was like, what the bomber? And I had to actually apologize, because like when we walked into the clubhouse, all I saw was Southampton 7-0 up. I'm like, what a bomber! Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I apologize for that language. It was one of them results that you couldn't help that. You could not help, but what the hell? It was one of them ones. The fact of the matter is, Virginie scored a quality own goal on 12 minutes. A goal that most strikers would have been proud of. By the way, Virginie's own goal in this game on 12 minutes was once again eerily reminiscent of something that happened to me at Ibis about 3 seasons ago. Away game down in Hayes, Kent, and it was one of them ones like I accidentally did that myself. It bobbled literally right before I hit it. So instead of hitting it with my laces, I hit it with my instep. Virginie's one, boy, that was a clean volley.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, that's a pretty damn good volley.
So just any manager looking for a striker, sign him up. It
was it? Wenger, sign him up. Wenger, sign him up and all that. But
a defender striker. That's what we need.
I mean, it's one of them ones where Graziano Pele scored on 18 minutes. Jack Cork scored on 37 minutes. Bridcut scored one of the funniest own goals, proper clumsy stuff on 63 minutes. And yeah, that picture by Sam Foyle, we actually mentioned that a couple minutes ago, the one with Virginie and Pele. But anyway, let's see. Bridcut's own goal on 63 minutes. Manone should have done better, but the goal was just the way he stumbled. His legs went like a baby giraffe. But Graziano Pele scored on 69 minutes. Tadic scored on 78 minutes. You know you're having a bad day when Wanyama scores against you as well, because he barely scores. He scored on 79 minutes, and Mane, substitute, came on and then scored on 86 minutes. There was a supposed game-changing moment, and that was Fletcher. But at the end of the day, for me, that's not a penalty. He's already touched the ball, ball's already gone, and then he gets clipped by the goalkeeper. It's like, yeah, no. So it's a case of Southampton 8, Sunderland 0.
Is he wearing a tie clip, mate?
Fellaini's on for Herrera, by the way. It doesn't look he's wearing a tie clip, mate. He's got the microphone on his head. But you know what, yeah? If this quote could be -8 stars, it'd be brilliant. But Sunderland deserve
-5 stars.
That's what they deserve. But the thing is, with Sunderland, Poyet was fuming. Hey, but Gus Poyet, after a result like that,
Life sucks, and then you die.
So that's all I can say. But Sunderland fans were leaving on 63 minutes when it was like 5-6-0, and it was like they were, and it's okay. So big shout out to Carly Prince, by the way. Mike Harneman just asked that for a Sunderland fan. But you know what? And apparently her dad was at the game. That's quality. You know what? The thing is, Sunderland fans must have been like,
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Sunderland. Sunderland. Sunderland.
8-0.
Sunderland.
8-0.
Sunderland.
8-0.
Sunderland.
8-0.
Sunderland.
8-0.
Sunderland. 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 God. I mean, Sunderland got mauled. That was mauling at St. Mary's. It really was. It really was. It was. The goals were hilarious, though. That's the thing. Most of the goals were just hilarious. Hampton weren't tracking runners for most of the goals. It's like it was.
It's one of those things, especially when you thought South, started to get themselves into a little groove as well.
And even Jonathan Pearce was saying, yeah, both defenses have been in mean mood this season.
Yeah, and
then Sunderland,
something like before that game, they only scored, conceded 7 goals. Like, and to be honest, I did not see that coming. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else saw that coming. I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, Sunderland didn't see it coming.
And
they never saw it coming.
Complaining about the penalty decision that wasn't given or whatever it was. Yeah, it's like, come on, please. Like that doesn't equate to the 8 goals.
Yeah, of course. I mean, even if that penalty had gone in and Sunderland had still banged it like that. Yeah. Fellaini has scored actually. 47 minutes gone. Lovely first touch, lovely second touch, and I thought he had an imaginary comb.
Yeah, he's still getting sold.
Imaginary comb, Fellaini.
He's still getting sold in January though.
Yeah, probably. It's one of them. So 47 minutes gone. Actually, 48 minutes gone now. West Bromwich Albion 1, Manchester United 1, and a very nice goal from Marouane Fellaini. I think it was Di Maria with the cross in. The man who's part of the Hair Bear Bunch. Lovely chest control. And the next couple of touches were fantastic to get it out of his feet and away from the defense and lashing it past Boaz Myhill. Little slight deflection on it though, as it's gone in, which is taking it past Boaz Myhill.
Did get a hand to it as well.
It was one of them ones, yeah. There was oh no, I thought there was a deflection.
Oh no,
but yeah, one of them ones. Great goal, by the way. So the Southampton Sunderland match, what do you reckon?
No, I was just rounding over. Yeah, I just thought it was pretty peculiar in the way which they lost 8-0, and but Southampton are in mighty form. I was all predicting them to be the team that was actually going to be in this predicament that Sunderland find themselves in now. Which Koeman's come in, he steadied the ship. He's like Jesse Fizzle said at the beginning of the season. It looked like he was signing the right players, the player like for like. And it's worked in their favor. It's like there hasn't been much of a transitional period. In actual fact, they've actually got better.
Yeah, they've been smacking it this season. Gotta say. It's one of them ones. I mean, Mike Harneman, what did you say what were you saying in the chat about Southampton Sunderland?
Yeah, I just think it's one of those sort of crazy games. It only happens once every so often. Southampton this season have been performing really well. I've seen them when they played at the Emirates in the Capital One Cup, and they knocked us out of that. And so I've seen them firsthand, and they are a really good side. And I think they'll be in Europe next season. I think they will. I seriously have a strong feeling that they'll get into Europe, not just based on the start of the season, but based on the signings that they've made. And like G-Man said, there's no transitional period with them at all. They've basically just gone straight in there. Quite a few new players, and the new players are really, showing the manager and showing the fans as well that they can do a really good job for that football team.
I mean, you know what? Yeah, it was funny. I mean, with Manone's goal, I think it was Virgini's second, where was it? Manone basically passed it to him. The first thought that went through my mind was, "Oh my God, match fixing! You just passed the ball to him." That was my first thought. I was thinking, no, man, that's not on. But it's one of them ones. But you know what? Yeah, the final two results of the week before we move into our A-League roundup: QPR 2, Liverpool 3. This was nuts for many reasons, but on 67 minutes, it really kind of sparked into life. After QPR had actually hit the bar a couple times, and boy, they could have been out of sight. But Richard Dunn scored an own goal after a quickly taken free kick. Lovely cross in, and Dunn couldn't leave it. So, hey, it's one of them was he put it into his own net, scoring his 10th own goal in I think it's 411 games, 10 own goals. So he's the most prolific own goal scorer in the Premier League. First one to get the double figures. But it's one of them ones, yeah, where
he's double figures and up.
Yeah, and he's still not done with his career yet. Done with his career, as you could say. But Vargas scored on 87 minutes to equalize. And it was one of them ones, like, for me, the fact of the matter is, there's no point putting a man on the post with what happened with Joe Allen. It's like, what are you doing on the post if the ball's going through your legs to score? Like, what are you doing? There's no point even having a man on the post. But the fact is, he scored on 87 minutes. Philip Coutinho, who made an instant impact. As soon as he came on, it was literally less than a minute later before we had scored. But the fact of the matter is, Coutinho scored a lovely goal, counter-attacking goal on 90 minutes. Vargas scored on 92 minutes, bundled it in after we stood off. But the fact of the matter is, Corker scored an own goal on 95 minutes. Balotelli did miss a sitter. Give him that, but it's one of them ones. There's been a lot of hyperbole and moaning about it. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon because at the end of the day, everyone can miss chances. But the fact of the matter is, that was a mad game. 4 goals in the last 9 minutes, and I was actually working during this game. I saw 56 minutes, 0-0. Then next time I checked, which was after the match had finished, I see 3-2, and I'm like, what the hell? It was one of them ones. It was one of them, and I watched it back, and I was like,
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute, but I don't like.
That's how it was.
You must
I actually watched the whole game back, and it was like, what? What is this? It was madness. It was absolute madness. QPR did well, though. I've got to say, QPR deserved more than, well, in relative terms, deserve more than they got. But at the end of the day, if you switch off, especially with the free kick, if you switch off, then hey, you're gonna pay the consequences. What do you reckon before we move on?
I was going to say again with QPR, yeah, they played well, and Harry Redknapp was boosting them at the end of the match, saying that's probably one of the best games he's seen them play. Yeah, but I think he should have just changed that slightly and said that was one of the better attacking games we played when we attacked, but defensively we were shambles.
Because Zamora was quality up front. And oh god, who was the it was QPR's left back. I think it was Kyun. I can't remember his name. He was very impressive actually. QPR's left back. He was was it left back or the right back? Son, that's it. Son Young. He was quality. He played very, very well. I was very impressed with him.
But it's like one of those things at the end of the day, QPR needed the points and they didn't get them at the end of the day. And, they'll be bitterly disappointed to actually concede 2 goals, especially via own goals. There's nothing Colker could have done. Richard,
those own goals you can't help because you can't leave them. Otherwise, Balotelli would have had 2 tappings.
But
would have scored goals.
It was a Sterling substitution. I love the pun there.
Even though Sterling stayed on. No.
I'm saying when they brought on Coutinho. I was going to say when he brought on.
But the pace of our attacks picked up as soon as Coutinho came on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
He was quicker than Emre Can, quicker than Lallana.
He shut me down.
Impacts up.
He shut me down.
But as said, Balotelli missing that open goal. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and start chastising.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because at the end of the day, similar to Aguero, the way that ball bounced and he skied it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it was a poor
keeper coming out, but he won the defenders converging on him. On them, he should have buried it, of course, but still.
No,
I've seen a lot worse.
I was going to say with the Ballo incident, yeah, it was a poor miss. He shouldn't have missed it. You know, you expect more from a striker of his quality. But some of those Liverpool fans that are out there and other fans that are trying to mock, in terms, Liverpool got the 3 points at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Balotelli's going to get, once Balotelli scores 1 goal, Balotelli's going to start roasting the goals in. That's what I believe.
Yeah, he's very much a confident player. So, you know, Stoke 2, Swansea 1 as well. 1 goal in the league. Stoke 2, Swansea 1. Bonnie scored a penalty on 34 minutes. Charlie Adams scored a penalty on 43 minutes. And Walters scored the final goal of the game on 76 minutes. Now, in terms of Bonnie's penalty, I'm in full agreement with that getting given because more referees need to give that sort of thing. I said about Skirtle on numerous occasions last season. Those kind of penalties need to get given.
All the time.
If you start giving them, if you punish uniformly and in a draconian fashion, if you start punishing those all the time, players are gonna stop doing it. Now, the Moses penalty, for me, it looked like Angel Rangel tried to pull Moses.
I can't say
Moses was very theatrical in the way he went down, but at the end of the day, from the referee's vantage point, he's probably seen. But Rangel looked like he tried to pull Moses, and I think the referee has given it because it looked like Angel Rangel pulled him.
Well, the referee might have saw something.
I think that's why.
He might have saw something, but he got it terribly wrong. I thought Moses dived in that position.
It's a soft penalty, but if you don't try and pull someone, no smoke without fire.
I didn't even. I personally, I don't even think it was a pull. I think they brushed each other's shoulders, and he went down far too easy. I think also the referee in my mind, was expecting to see a foot come out. He didn't see it come out because of the position where Moses went down, but he pre-predicted it and gave the penalty. He gave the penalty so quick as well.
Yeah. I mean, Russ Vernon has said he tried to even it up. He got it wrong very soft. Mike Hardiman has said he tried to pull him off the ball. So it's one of them ones. I mean, Mike Hardiman said both pens for me, and Stoke pen wasn't a penny dove. But it's one of them ones. The fact of the matter is, each manager had their gripes, and for me, they were both laughable. So,
yeah, Monk was spot on.
So it's one of them. Well, he was spot on in terms of what he said about referee consistency. There isn't enough of it. But the fact of the matter is, he's going to get charged, and he'll probably get charged quite a bit.
Personally, I don't think he should care. I was going to say this to you earlier and get a chance to. I feel bitterly disappointed by Mark Hughes, someone who was the way he came out after his press conference, and he sat at the table and he was like, well, he kind of said like he's a very silly boy, he shouldn't have said that. Really downplayed and talked of Monk as he was just naive here. But at the end of the day, Mark Hughes was someone that was very vocal himself. And just because he hasn't had decisions come his way, it's like, to me, that's a childish way to react to things. Like, but
then Shawcross said exactly the same thing. He was like, bigger players get away with it all the time. But when it's us, but when it's us, we get penalized for it. It's like, I watched it and I thought, man, shut your face. Shut your face, man. You've run that risk for a long time. You've got to wear because of the media hype around it. But if you're not doing it, there ain't nothing to hype over.
The problem is there is a consistency issue and when decisions like that happen, you start to think to yourself, shouldn't managers actually start really caring for one another? Because at the end of the day, everyone's effective. Everyone takes the mentality it's going to even itself up somewhere down the line. That's not the mentality we should be having in a professional game. My personal opinion. That's a mentality that's just been there for too long. And it's just when referees to get decisions wrong on the basis that, it's going to even itself out. Just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And it's one of them was the Redknapp Tarab thing. I mean, Tom Wood has asked after what Redknapp said about Adel Tarab after the Liverpool game, what would you do with Tarab? I'd make him do extra training. I'd make him watch what I'd say to him, mate, you better watch what you're eating. Ship up or ship out. Pure and simple. Redknapp shouldn't have even thrown Durant under the bus. You got to do that, like with the Hodgson Sterling thing. Why you got to do that publicly for?
Yeah,
that's all I got to say about it. It's much to do about BS, to be honest. And it's one of them. There's no need. There was absolutely no need for that. But you know what? Ian Kerr, are you with us? I hope Ian's still with us.
Yes, blokes, I'm still here. Still
I
here.
thought he went to bed.
You know what? Yeah. Let me give you a proper intro.
I want my theme music. Play my theme music.
You know what? Yeah, let's give the proper intro, and that is. Oh, you didn't know? Ian Kerr's gonna tell you about A-League football.
Outstanding, just outstanding, Liam. Again, it's breathtaking. It's woken me up, that's for sure.
I've probably blown someone's eardrums as well.
No, look. But what a way to blow your eardrums with the sweet, soulful sounds of Straight Shooting LJA.
Oh, I'm almost choked up. If I could,
you're almost choked up.
If I could blush,
it's one of them ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along.
God, how about it here, man? What is up, man? What's happened in the A-League this week?
It's been an interesting round. The second round of the A-League season opened up on Friday night with traditional rivals Melbourne Victory versus Adelaide, and a bit of a dull match until the very end of the game when everything went absolutely crazy, which is the tradition between these two teams. Just to give you guys a bit of background, Adelaide and Melbourne have had this long-standing cross-border rivalry because when the A-League was first set up, there was only one team per city. So Melbourne Victory didn't have a local rival. Talked about Melbourne City last week. Melbourne City didn't exist back when Melbourne Victory was formed. So the rivalries that were formed back at the beginning of the A-League, way back 10 years ago, were cross-border rivalries. Now, the rivalry between Melbourne Victory and Adelaide's been spectacular. They met in a grand final one year. Melbourne Victory won 6-1. It was an absolute pantsing. Usually a player gets sent off, or once somebody tries to strangle the opposition coach, has happened one year. There's a fight, there's a brawl. It's brilliant. And this year, it ended up in a big love fest with the two head coaches sharing an uncomfortably long hug after the 1-1 draw. And it was a late drama kind of game. Melbourne Victory scoring in the dying minutes of the game to pull off a 1-1 draw. Did they rescue a point, or did they just get 1 point? I won't go into that whole semantic debate, which was covered off very well earlier this evening. But I suppose there was another big match on Saturday night, which was the Sydney derby, Sydney FC taking on Western Sydney Wanderers. And it was a bit of an up-and-down match. Wanderers went to a 2-0 lead and then ended up losing 3-2. So the blue half of Sydney very happy on Saturday night. But, of course, nobody really cares about the clubs. What does everyone want to hear about? Everyone wants to know, how did David Villa do on the weekend? Well, David Villa playing for Melbourne City. Rumour has it that his loan to Melbourne City, by the way, is going to finish up early and he's going to bugger off back to New York City without serving his entire 10-game loan spell at Melbourne City.
I love
More
that.
on that next week when we've got some details, but that's the rumour going around at the moment. Anyway, he fluffed an absolute sitter at about 60-minute mark of the game. Looked like he was going to go home the anti-hero. But because Newcastle, their opponents, managed to score a goal, but no, he scored the equaliser late in the match. So again, rescuing a point in inverted commas, or restoring parity, however you like to put it, managed to score a goal in his second week. So there is a general fawning over David Villa at the moment because he's played 2 games, scored 2 goals. I mean, geez, that's never happened before. Yeah. Australian media, build a bridge and get over it. All right, it's not graced the Australian League. I'd say that someone like Mark Viduka. Probably that Mark Viduka was young. A lot of you guys probably don't remember, but before Mark Viduka lost a bit of form and didn't always have the right trim. Let's say Harry Redknapp might have had a go at him at one stage for his playing weight. Mark Viduka, when he was an 18-year-old player fresh out of the Australian National League, he was unstoppable. He was absolutely unstoppable. And if he was still playing today in that kind of form, he would have put David Villa in the shade. Anyway, I'm probably showing my biases there. So a big weekend, but one final, you went through the international games before, but you were very kind because you didn't mention that Australia got beaten by the UAE. The who? Exactly.
Well, we couldn't be too harsh. We couldn't be too harsh.
You can't be too harsh. It was outrageous. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, I don't want to get all wound up about it because it's getting close to my bedtime.
I was going to say, our fourth best player to grace the A-League was Emil Heskey. But anyway, by the way, Saido Berahino has scored.
In all seriousness, Emil Heskey, he had a good start to his first season. Had a good start, was just scoring for fun, got injured, and his form just fell right off.
Sounds like his Leicester career.
You're gonna say, by the way, speaking of having a good start, Saido Berahino has scored 66 minutes gone. West Bromwich Albion a 2-1 up against Man United at the Hawthorns. But
meanwhile, it's a 1-1 Genoa Empoli in the Serie A. Only about 10 minutes left to play.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. And you know what? Yeah, we mentioned earlier about a special offer that Thin White Line magazine that you could folks have at the moment for the PT family.
That's right.
Ian, tell us about that and where we can find Thin White Line as well.
Where can you find it? In the universe, man. It's out there. We've got a special offer for Pitch Talk listeners. All you have to do is go to the Thin White Line magazine website, which is www.thinwhitelinemagazine.com. Go to the shop and you find all kinds of goodies to buy there, like our magazine, T-shirt, magazine, and the magazine and subscriptions. 25% off for Pitch Talk listeners. All you have to do is enter the code Pitch Talk. All one word, no spaces, no nothing, Pitch Talk. And that will get you 25% off anything in the store. It's an exclusive just for Pitch Talk listeners, just because I'm a nice guy.
See, there we go. Grab yourself some Thin White Line official merchandise. Why not pick up issue 1? Why not pick up issue 0? Remember, we feature in issue 0. So it's one of them ones. Fantastic stuff. Remember, www.thinwhitelinemagazine.com, at Tweet White Line, and facebook.com/Thin White Line Magazine as well. You know what? A big time thank you. A podcast as well. Drop over to their website, thinwhitelinemagazine.com, to hear their podcast too. Speaking of podcasts, remember this will end up on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, and Spreaker. But for now, what we are going to do, we are going to go into the next segment of the show. As I said, Man United are 2-1 down against West Brom at the Hawthorns, 68.5 minutes gone. And hey, it is one of them. You know what? It's time. It's Vader time. It's Pitch Talk time. You know what? We are going to go into yeah. Big shout outs to Tweet White Line. Big shout outs to Thin White Line. Magazine. Remember Thin White Line Magazine. 25% off anything in their shop. This is Pitch Talk.
It's Talk, baby.
This is Pitch Talk. Yeah. This is Pitch Talk. This is Pitch Talk. This is Pitch Talk. This is Pitch Talk. This is PT. This is PT. PT. Jordan Funny. Jordan Funny. ICJ Fish. Jordan Funny. You know what? English clubs created the biggest trade deficit in world football, says a report. This is from the 9th of October 2014, but we've got a reason why we're going over this. We alluded to this last week. But English clubs have racked up a combined deficit of 379 million pounds to create the biggest trade deficit in the world football transfer market, according to a report from Barclays. A record summer of transfer spending led to the Premier League clubs outlaying almost 580 million pounds on players from overseas, 15% more than last year. However, the deficit is more than covered by money from overseas television and foreign sponsorship rights, which amount to more than 1 billion a year, according to Barclays Football Balance of Trade. While English football has run up the biggest trade deficit in world football transfers, the overall income it generates far outstrips the cost of importing players from overseas, said Chris Lee, head of professional banking at Barclays. Matches from England's Premier League have been to around 211 countries across the globe, and overseas corporates want to be part of what is regarded by many as the best football league in the world. According to the report, television rights sold to overseas countries were worth more than 740 million pounds a year. While sponsorship from overseas businesses are expected to provide more than 340 million this year. Man United ran up the highest deficit in the Premier League football transfers this summer after spending 137.3 million on importing foreign players. That left United with a deficit of 119.3 million, with Southampton second on 51 million and Manchester City third on 57.6 million. Now, the reason why we mention that is because ticket increases outstrip the cost of living. From October 15th, 2014, the average price of the cheapest tickets across English football has risen at almost twice the rate of the cost of living since 2011. BBC Sports Price of Football study analysed how much fans are charged at 207 clubs. The average price of the cheapest matchday ticket from the Premier League to League Two is now £21.49. It's increased 13% since 2011 compared to a 6.8% rise in the cost of living. Year on year, it is up 4.4%, more than treble the 1.2% rate of inflation. Critics of the ticket price hike said clubs had lost touch with fans and argued that the recent £3.1 billion windfall from television rights should have resulted in a drop in ticket prices for supporters. But some clubs, particularly those in the Premier League, point to packed out stadiums as proof they have got the pricing right. As well as ticket prices, information was gathered about the price of replica shirts, pies, programs, and a cup of tea. For the first time this year, the price of football worked out the cost of supporters for each home goal their team scored. There is a price calculator on the BBC Sport website, actually. Man United hit the post v Van Persie with them. All of the most expensive matchday ticket in the Premier League at £97. That's £29 down £29 on last season, but still more than double the most expensive matchday ticket at 7 other top flight clubs. The Gunners also have the most expensive season ticket in the top flight at £2,013. Although it includes 7 credits for cup competitions. Their cheapest season ticket is £1,014, which is more than 17 Premier League clubs charge for their most expensive one. Man City have the league's cheapest season ticket at £299. That's cheaper than at 15 Championship clubs, 10 clubs in League One, 4 in League Two, and even 1 in the Conference. Charlton's £150 £50 season ticket is the cheapest in England's top 4 divisions. However, Barcelona charge around £103 for their lowest priced season ticket. And also, where we go in next, in Scotland's Premiership, the average price for the cheapest day out at Premiership matches, including match day ticket, pie, cup of tea, and the programme, increased by just 61p to £26.95 from last season. So that's to put it into perspective. Now, so best and worst prices per home goal. Fleetwood are actually best value, £4.38. Per home goal. Man City £4.75, Arsenal 27.36, Norwich 29.38. So that's best to worst prices in terms of each home goal. Average most expensive match day ticket across top 4 divisions. There's been a 5.2% increase. Average cheapest match day ticket across the top 4 divisions has seen a 13% increase. Derby County and Sheffield Wednesday's match day ticket is the cheapest in the top 4 leagues in England at £2. So it's one of them ones. Fleetwood fans get the best value in top 4 divisions, and Man City fans get best value in the Premier League in terms of prices per home goal. Now, Arsenal have defended the cost of the match tickets on October 16th, 2014. Arsenal defended the cost of their match tickets after the BBC's Price of Football showed they had the most active in the Premier League. At Thursday's AGM, Chief Executive Ivan Gazidis said prices had gone up below the rate of inflation and wages. The board has never approached ticket prices glibly or lightly, he said. But Arsenal Supporters Trust member Tim Payton said pricing promises had been broken and warned the club were breaking the loyalty bond with fans. Arsenal's most expensive match day and season tickets are £97 and £2,013 respectively, with the cheapest coming in at £27 and £1,014. Besides £2,000 season ticket is double the price of Man United's most expensive season ticket and more than 4 times the cost of West Bromwich Albion's. Pressed on the issue, Gazidis said ticket prices have increased at a rate of 1.3% since 2006, which was below the growth of players' wages and fans' wages or inflation. The 50-year-old said demand for tickets continues to far exceed supply. Underneath those headline ticket prices, the club continues to make tickets available to as many as possible. Now, you know what? Yeah, Labour have proposed greater ownership powers for football fans also on the 16th of October 2014. Football fans could have a greater say in the running of their clubs under radical plans proposed by Labour. Supporters would have seats on every board and the right to buy a significant slice of the club shares when its ownership changes. Labour says it will be the biggest legislative shake-up in the governance of English and Welsh football clubs since the advent of the game. Only 14 league clubs currently have fan representatives on their board. Swansea City are the only Premier League outfit among the 14, with Swansea City supporters trust owning 20% of the club. But if Labour wins next year's general election, Fans Trust could be able to appoint and remove up to a quarter and not less than 2 of the club's directors. Supporters would not be able to block takeovers or change corporate strategy, but could obtain financial and commercial information about the club. Fans could also purchase up to 10% of the shares when a club changes ownership. The buyer acquiring control, defined as 30%, would have to offer the trust up to a tenth of shares they were purchasing for 240 days following the deal. The option would be capped once the trust had acquired 10% of the club shares, though that would not prevent it from buying more shares if it wanted. Now, you know what? That's quite an interesting one, because looking at Germany now, what's it? The average Premier League season ticket costs £508 compared to 100 in the Premier League, compared to £138 in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich fans could pay as little as £109.65 in Spain, and in Spain, Barcelona fans could get a season ticket for £103.38. So you know what? Looking at all of this, fans owning clubs, or at least part owning clubs, not too bad an idea. But the thing is, I don't know, fans owning clubs are kind of a dangerous one. But for me, government trying to, Labour saying, oh yeah, if we get elected, we're gonna give fans greater powers. I don't believe it, to be perfectly frank,
Yeah,
because I think Labour are just promising that just to get votes. Because
Politics
they know,
and football shouldn't mix.
exactly. And we discussed that back in 2011 when co-Prime Minister Davy Boy Cameron was coming out with the whole was coming out with the whole murky politics thing. It's a case of that Blatter and that we know football's murky politics, but politics is murky on its own. So for me at the end of the day, fans getting greater powers and a greater say in what goes on, I don't so much mind that, but the fans have to look outside of themselves and look at what's right for the club.
Yeah.
Also, one thing potentially that it could do is put off investors, because because the fact is, if investors want to jump into bed with a club, they have to consult the fans. And what could end up happening, there could end up being a lot of issues that investors ain't going to want to deal with. They're probably just going to want to come in, change stuff, invest in the club, and be done with it. But if you've got sometimes, let's say with Vincent Tan, if let's say the Cardiff fans had more power to veto what Vincent Tan did, he'd probably just pack up and go home, because it's like, you know what, I don't need this sort of palaver. I just wanted to make a bit of money off this club. I don't need this. So you could have owners doing that. But I said, I think the fans would have to look outside of themselves. And a lot of fans, like you were saying, like G-Man, like you were saying earlier, about players trying to advise Arsene Wenger of what he should be doing, because this and that should be doing with the club. If they ain't got their finances in order personally, how are you going to? How have you got the business sense to be running a multi-million-pound club? Whether it be the Championship, Premier League, elsewhere.
Most people think it's a true reflection of how Championship Manager works, Football Manager works, FIFA management works. It's like it's not. You don't just go in, bid for players, they come straight to you, or you make a slight alteration, they come to you. Then physical human beings, are involved in this game. Real people, and real money at stake. That's the real issue.
This ain't Monopoly.
I had a conversation with good old pal Chris Hutchinson the other day in terms of, and just touching on the point, I said this is like, these people are making real money, like they're investors. This ain't the football of old, just say the 70s or 50s or even before that. It's a business now. We've got to get our head around this and just take the facts for what they are. This ain't grassroots football no more. This is a business. Arsenal are not a local grassroots football club. They are a big business. Man United, Liverpool,
No,
there
true.
There might be the whole local for either ideologies and philosophies behind the clubs, how they want to portray themselves. But on a real note, I'm just looking at Arsenal for a minute. We've got an American running our club, and
we've got Brinksmanship between an American and a Russian.
Brinksmanship, and he's taking 3 million dividends out. Just say this year. You hear me? This is a business. That fans need to see if they want change. It's your money going into the club.
But then this is the good thing with them potentially getting greater powers and having that 10%. They can't change corporate strategy and they can't block takeovers. But at least it's one of them ones where they'll at least have more of a say. Especially on, let's say, something like ticket prices, for instance, which is insane. The price of inflation is what? Inflation, for ticket prices to be jumping above the rate of inflation, like we said before, you're basically pricing people out of the game, apart from the very, very wealthy. And it'd be those who are most passionate getting the shot. Like I've said in regards to proliferation of coverage, it's one of them ones. It's the fans getting the shot because the fans always have to pay that bit extra.
Using one of your terminologies, who's playing who? because who are Labour trying to get in bed with it? Is it the fans they're trying to get in bed with? Or
Oh
is
yeah,
it-
they're
or
just
is
trying to
it-
get votes, which is why I don't lend
wait,
credence.
not just votes, or is it the clubs they're trying to get in bed with?
I think it's the fans because they're trying to get
at the end
votes.
of the no, because by doing that, in my personal opinion, by doing that, only giving the fans a total of 10% of the club control of the club. If they could get, they ain't gonna have no control over the club. It's just like a peace,
What kind of a peace offering? Yeah?
a peace offering. Fans think they're getting something, but they're getting nothing. What? They can complain to newspapers, they can complain to the media. It's been done already. It's happening right now. But all that's happened, there's a little 10% dangled in front of their eyes now.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you think you got power, but you ain't got no power at all. And all Labour are doing, like you said, trying to get the votes.
But then you look at Swansea, where their supporters trust owns 20% of the club. Portsmouth have only just recently jumped out of debt.
Yeah, but that's all
years.
But that's organic,
But
though.
that
the
was
whole,
clearing old. That was clearing old debt. So Pompey had to go that way.
Yeah, but that's more organic. Like you said, it had to go that way. It's something that the club's transitioned into. Labour saying that they're going to force it. Which it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like it just doesn't sound right. It just, to me, it just sounds like they're protecting the clubs more so. Because it's like, oh yeah, we'll do this for you. Like now fans can't complain. They ain't got no control. Makes it look like they got control.
Yeah. But it's interesting the fact that fans trust could be able to appoint and remove up to a quarter and not less than 2 of the club's directors. So there is it's one of them was the fans would have a bit of stroke.
Yeah.
In terms of being able to remove a couple of directors and
Which just makes the boardroom a bit more cutthroat.
Yeah.
Because directors will be trying to cut directors.
Yeah, just to stay in the job. Like it is in the game in general.
Well, the apprentice.
Yeah, you're fired. Vinnie Mac style, you're fired. But I mean, the prices of tickets outstripping the cost of living is actually a disgrace because at the end of the day, like it's one of them. Some Daily Blinders just scored 86 minutes gone. United 2, Man United 2, West Bromwich Albion 2, and it's a poor goal to concede, to be honest. A low drive from the edge of the box, beating Boaz Myhill. No one closed Blind down. He had actually time to pick his spot, took it first time. Boom. There we go. Good goal. Right into the bottom left-hand corner or right-hand corner if you're Boaz Myhill. But yeah, I mean it's a case of you would get a lot of fans running a club like it's Football Manager.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I can do this. But there are a lot of supporters trust that are actually smart.
Yeah.
And that would get together and make good decisions. But at the end of the day, I said the cost of tickets.
By the way, I'm not saying
cost of living
supporters
is a disgrace because you look at 3.1 billion, and we've been over this.
Yeah.
3.1 billion pound TV deal. You'd think that some of that could be used to fund grassroots football, could be used to reduce ticket prices. But the Premier League essentially for me is kind of built on greed.
Yeah.
But like I said in the Post-Match Playmaker Facebook group, it's a case of for fans to be able to do something at their clubs, they need to come together and unite. And fans in general need to unite to get more power.
One thing you have to say is greed on all fronts. Yeah. Because it's not just the clubs. Fans are greedy too. And this is the main.
And fans don't care when the clubs are winning stuff.
Yeah.
Fans don't care. Most of the time, fans won't realize that something's wrong until it's too late.
Yeah.
The warning signs will be there. How many times have we spoken about certain issues? Like look at Suarez and Cellini. That bite a year ago, we said he wasn't playing with a full deck.
Yeah.
He needed to seek help, and he was probably going to do it again.
Yeah.
And then Gordon Strachan joined the World Cup. It's like, oh well, And it's like, wait, we said that a year ago.
Yeah.
In terms of the Rooney Rule, we discussed that with Football Unite's Racism Divides about the potential of that 3 years ago.
Yeah, but talking about
4 years ago.
Going on to talking about you saying fans should unite. Yeah, it's like fans, are illogical. Yeah, like you said, they when good times are there, there's no complaints. They ain't saying nothing. Doesn't even matter. Ticket price.
Man United I ain't seen them looting heat.
Ticket prices were £5,000, I reckon, and just say Arsenal were winning everything. I don't think fans would be complaining. I honestly don't think so. Like there might be Arsenal fans that disagree with me, but I honestly don't think there would be. I honestly think if there was winning champions, there'd be all types of excuses. But at the end of the day, it's illogical. If you're going to put your money into something, that you cannot afford, that you feel is too expensive, then you are silly.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, this is how I put it. You like a Ferrari, you ain't got Ferrari money. Do you go out and buy a Ferrari?
Well, well, the thing is, you can actually take out loans with certain banks, and in the list of reasons why, there's car, house, home improvements, season ticket.
Yeah,
season ticket is actually an option. And I think it was Santander.
Don't tell me you did it.
No. Why the hell am I going to do that for? Put myself in debt for 50 years for a season ticket that there's a 12-year waiting list for.
Precisely.
it's that. It's that part.
That's what I'm trying to say. Do you go out and buy the Ferrari?
No,
you don't go. But do you then go out and start picketing outside Ferrari and saying, "Look, your prices are too expensive"?
But the thing is, but then football is always seen as the people's game. That's why.
Personally, yeah.
That's why.
Again, if we take it back to the 18th century and move it on to probably about 100 years or so, yeah, we can say that. But no fans, no game. No, the game.
It's like a TV program. No viewers.
But this is what I'm saying.
No program.
Terminology that's illogical because fans say that, but they still go to the matches, hold up their banners. No fans, no game. Still play their £60 and still sitting in there chanting when their team's winning. I don't get it. There's no point of coming with that illogical, ideal that us fans rule the game, because you're not actually ruling the game. You're financing the game.
But that's why I'm saying. If fans started voting with their feet, like what they were doing after that whole £60 thing between Arsenal and Man City, that £62. It was one of them ones where a lot of those fans were picketing outside the ground. That's what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, if you're not buying the tickets, then the prices are going to have to drop to encourage people in. But as said, the footballing fans need to unite, because you can't have 200 fans protesting outside and not going into the match. But then there's another 50,000 who have gone in and don't care about the protest.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying football fans need to unite if they really want change. But football fans won't do that. Because firstly, there's a lot of fickle fans. And secondly, a lot of fans don't see the problem until it's too late.
Yeah. No, it's true. But if you just listen to the words of Gazidis, the 50-year-old said, demand for tickets continues to exceed the supply.
Yeah.
Underneath those headlines, ticket prices, And at the end of the day, also when he says like the demand, people need to understand. Look, it wasn't, Arsenal weren't being silly when they built a new stadium. They didn't wait until they didn't build a new stadium when there was only a demand like with a waiting list of 10,000 people. They waited so there was, build a 60,000 stadium, so you got another 30,000 people waiting. Yeah, that's now built up to 50,000. Look, if you lose 50,000 people at the Emirates, that means you still got another 50,000 that will gladly come to the match. And this is what I'm trying to say. Now, fans say prices are too expensive, yet there's over 100,000 fans that are willing to go to the game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Football fans, if they want to make that change, you've got to unite. It can't be pockets of fans trying to get change. It's got to be all fans. That's what it's got to be. So it is a difficult one. By the end of the day, I can't afford to go to matches. I don't go to matches, and most of the time I'm working. So it's one of them ones I can't go to.
As I said, if you can't afford it, don't go.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I said football is still somewhat of the people's game, and as I said, the fans are always the ones who get the shaft. When the fans are usually an afterthought. Same with grassroots football. It's usually an afterthought when it needs to be at the forefront. But then the other side of it is it's that the game has become so corporate. The fans are an afterthought because of that. And also, if fans wanted to stop the game getting corporate, then fans should have mobilized 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I said, fans don't usually see a problem until it's too late.
Well, I personally do think it's too late. I personally think if fans do try and immobilize to start some sort of action where they walk out on clubs, I think clubs have a contingency plan.
Well, they do. The TV revenue is clearly the contingency plan.
revenue,
£3 billion for
also
people watching on TV.
Looking to ship the games out abroad.
Yeah, there's that issue as well.
So
full time, by the way, Man United 2, West Brom 2, down at the Hawthorns.
But that's for the bigger clubs I'm talking about.
Yeah. Fellaini, Sessegnon and Berahino with the goals for West Brom. Daley Blind equalising for Man United, and Fellaini getting the first. So, but it's one of those. I mean, you know what? Yeah, let's throw this out to the Skypers because there's been a couple things said. Mike Heineman, what did you say in the Skype chat? You want to surmise what you said?
Yeah, I'm not sure which point you're kind of referring to the most, but I think it's to do with what G-Man was saying there about the ticket prices over at Arsenal. I think really they are extortionate, and they are going up quite a lot at the moment as well. I'm a red member at Arsenal. I don't know if you're the same, G-Man, as well.
Yeah. I'm an all red member at Liverpool as well.
Right, okay. I don't know what benefit that actually gives as well, because if you're getting the membership for £30, £40, whatever it is, and you've still got to pay money for the ticket, you've got to pay an extra 50, 60, whatever it is on top of that as well. What does the membership actually mean? Is that actually to do with the ticket side of it, or is that something different?
Well, it's getting you priority. It's getting you priority to actually be able to buy those tickets. That's from a Liverpool perspective. That's what I see. Because general tickets very rarely go on general sale, and it's usually the Capital One Cup games that end up on general sale.
That's another thing as well. The Capital One Cup games and Category B and C games are the ones that basically are valued at a lot more reasonable prices for people to get tickets for. Yeah. So the likes of Southampton was, I think it was about £20 to get a ticket for that game, which obviously for a Premier League game with 2 Premier League sides in anyway, in a competition of that stature is really good value. But then to see that team again, you might have to pay £60, £70 if you can get a ticket.
Yeah. No, I agree. Prices are definitely extortionate. The red membership, the thing about the red membership integration into the club size, I think that has been quite a good thing, but it's a money making scheme, as you rightly outlined. Like you pay £30, then you're paying money on top.
But then I want to ask Mike as well. What do you think about Labour potentially giving football fans a greater say in the running of the clubs with their plans?
I think at certain levels it could work. I think if they're working alongside the right people, and the fans know what they're talking about, they're people that are going in there with a clue, and basically, they're not just people that are going in there wanting to take a chance at running it as if you're playing Football Manager or FIFA or one of these games. You actually know what you're talking about. You've got a bit of background in business or like the football world as well. And like you're working with the right people. I think it could be beneficial to the club and to obviously the people involved as well.
I think that's a very interesting point, and that's a great shout. You need to have the right people and be working alongside the right people, because if you're going to give fans greater powers, you've got to make sure those powers are channeled correctly. Like that quote in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that's the key thing for me.
But to do what?
In terms of running the club.
No. But what do they do?
If they're doing that,
what do they do? They can't change strategies. They can only get rid of.
But I said they can appoint and remove up to a quarter of the club's directors, which is quite an interesting one. I mean, they wouldn't be able. I mean, they can obtain financial and commercial information about the club as well, and they could purchase shares. So it's one of them. I mean, I said you've got certain clubs who are already doing, like Swansea, with 20% of their shares owned by fans. So
sound like a money making scheme to me, but
it could be. But I said it could put investors off as well. It could do that. They very much could do that. So there's swings and roundabouts.
That could open more doors to dictatorships at clubs, though.
In theory. I mean, Wayne Schumann wanted to jump in as well. You want to jump in on this, Wayne, before we move on?
Yeah, I think the ticket prices for football is crazy. I mean, even at Stevenage now, you know, it's as Mike said earlier, it's £18 stand up, £23 sit down, and even the football shirts at Stevenage, even when we was in the conference, it was the same price to buy a Stevenage shirt than it was to buy an Arsenal shirt. It was £40, and I think in general the prices are ridiculous. And I remember me and Mike was talking about this the other day. I remember the Highbury days when we used to go to them games and they did reach general sale. As long as you got there a couple of weeks before the match, queued up, you got your ticket. And I think the most I paid at Highbury was probably about £35. And even back then, people were saying, "Oh, that's a bit much. Just go watch football." But then when you look at it back then and you look at it now, it's like the couple of days ago because me and Mike were saying about going to November and going to the Newcastle game in December as well. And I was just looking on the Arsenal website on Category A games, and Arsenal Man United on the 22nd of November. Now they will go on sale to Red members, but they're £94 a ticket. And to me, that's like, what? I went to the Charity Shield game, 99 at the old Wembley Stadium, and it was Arsenal versus Man United. It was just after United done the treble, and that was only £30 ticket.
But
that's what I mean by it, since 1999 to now, and you know, for all them years, how much of a difference prices have gone up.
But it's inflation. It's above inflation.
But let me ask you this though, yeah.
Yeah.
If there were tickets free, would you buy it?
If the tickets free,
would you? Yeah, no, not if they were free, but if you were available to buy them at £94.
no, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
But I bet you know people that would.
Yes, I know people that would. But personally, I wouldn't, because I can't afford £94. I can't afford to fork out £94 on a football match.
Yeah, but then
I can't. If I do that, that's like half of my. That's half of, you know. I've got to balance around my money. Then that, you know, I've said I've got bills to pay. You know, living on my own. Now I could. No way. I mean, I could probably afford one game a month, and that's stretching it at £40 a ticket.
But then that is the issue though. Just to kind of put a finer point on it before we move on. It is a case of that's the problem whereby that's a problem whereby for every one person that will not buy a ticket at £93, you've got 10 people who will. Yeah. So it's feeding the machine. The very machine people are complaining about. They're feeding.
Even to go and watch, as I said, to go and watch Stevenage play now. I mean, we used to go to away games a lot. Like, we used to go pretty much every weekend, travelling up and down the country, watching them play. When we was in the conference, then we got promoted. We was doing it in the first year in League Two. Even an away game for Stevenage now, you're probably looking at about £60, £70 just for one day, and it's still a lot of money. You know, to do it, and it got to a point where, I mean, if I look at what I've spent over the years going to watch Arsenal and Stevenage, and been to a few England games as well in the past, what I've spent at football matches, it's easy, a good few grand there.
Yeah.
You know, what I've spent over the years, it's an easily good few grand, you know, in the last sort of 10, 15 years or whatever. But I don't think of it like I just think, oh, there's a ticket there, £40, yeah, I'll grab it.
But you know it, but
sometimes.
But Wayne, see, but then it's one of them. I mean, even Ross Vernon has said to watch Leeds United, he spent £395 this year, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
That's what I mean. I mean, and as Mike said, you know, we went to the Southampton game. That was £20 ticket. Now, £20 ticket, I think that's a good deal for a Capital One Cup game. You know, I think, yeah, that's a great deal. Maybe these clubs, they can afford to put the prices down. If they even say like 5 or 6 matches throughout the season, or FA Cup games, put the prices down. You know, for the cup games, or for the, I mean, now Champions League games are more than Premier League games. I mean, the Anderlecht game is that was £53, and that was £13 more than the Burnley tickets. And to me, I just think, some games, especially if you are a member of the club, they should do something where that you get a bit of discount on games.
But then, but the thing is that just to wrap up, because time is pressing on. The fact of the matter is, clubs are run like businesses, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day, what is the point of business? Profit, and to make as much money as you can. And for me, that is the bottom line.
And that's where I think the game's kind of been ruined over the last few years, because football is a business now.
Well, as I said, no, wait, thanks for your opinions, by the way. And we do have to shift on. But the fact of the matter is this has not been over the past few years. This has been over 20 plus years. But again, it's bigger picture. It's bigger picture things. Like, this could have been seen 20 years ago with the formation of the Premier League, to be honest. I mean, that was a money-making move. So it goes back longer than a few years, but I'll never. You know what? Got a text through actually before we switch segments. I think it could work. We'll give it a trial run at, say, the Vanarama Conference. Look at Ebbsfleet, for example, could work. Remember to put your name at the end of the text. 07535804466 is the text number. Well, there's one of them ones. It's a very interesting one. But you know what? It is time for us to just jump into a quick few messages from some friends and sponsors of the show. So we will be right back. And remember, this is your Monday Night Footballing Fix. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Rest.
The G-Man.
Samir Sonic, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday Night Footballing Fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/Pitch Talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday Night Footballing Fix Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with.
Facilities are provided for your Monday Night Footballing Fix by In Situ. Create, engage, and inspire by visiting insitu.co.
Simply Exclusive Entertainment. If you need a party or rave film, go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich. Simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video encoding for the web, including YouTube and Vimeo, audio recording, filming of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions and let the new blood in digital video promote you. Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with
the one-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
The new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their bunny Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of IBIS FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening. And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Grassroots segment. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Grassroots. Yes. Grassroots segment is right here. Let's be clear. This is PT, your Monday night footballing fix. We talk and banter with footy. Even I don't know where that came from, but couple right on the strike one.
That's my exercise done.
I'm a better rapper than half those guys out there. No, I'm kidding. You know what? The Grassroots segment. I said we usually start with a big shout out to the 14 SAL, the Southern Amateur League, and that is at 14 SAL on Twitter and www.southernamateurleague.co.uk. We also give a shout out to the Amateur Football Alliance as well at Amateur FA on Twitter and www.amateur-fa.com. The team we always start with in the Grassroots segment is IBIS Football Club. IBIS Football Club at gmail.com is where you need to email if you want details of the club and you want to play for one of the free sides that we have in the 14 SAL. Facebook.com/IBIS, IBIS.FC, and at IBIS_football on Twitter. Twitter.com/IBIS_football. You know what? ibisfc.co.uk is the official website. And you know what? I was tickled to death this weekend because at the end of the day, not literally tickled to death, because that would be quite a fun way to die.
I was about to say, am I in heaven or hell?
If you're getting tickled to death and you're laughing to death, you're probably heaven. Oh my God, I'm dead.
I'm saying, if I'm sitting next to a guy that's been tickled to death, I must be dead too.
I'm ticklish, man. They'd be like, I can't breathe. But you know what? It is one of those where training is every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. at the Battersea Park all-weather AstroTurf pitches. So get yourself down there, and match days are Saturdays. You know what? Yeah. The results from around the IBIS Football Club from the 18th of October 2014, Saturday 18th of October. Broomfield 3. IBIS 1's for it. Adam Pennycook, Joe Barker, and there was an own goal with the goals in that. The IBIS reserves, the twos, lost 2-1 at home to South Bank Quarko. Jake Allen getting the only goal for the IBIS twos. And Ebog, East Barnet, Old Grammarians 2, IBIS 3s. No, I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, it is one of them ones. Saturday, 25th of October, HSBC host the IBIS 1s. The IBIS 2s in the AFA Cup match host Crouch End Vampires reserves, and Broomfield host the IBIS 3s. So a trek for a couple of the teams, especially the IBIS 3s. But you know what? Yeah, he is one of them ones where, you know what, with the freeze match this weekend, if things had gone according to plan without injuries and that, then it could have been a reuniting of a few of the Force players, including the ex-captain of the Force. I don't know who that is, but yeah, I've never met the ex-Ibis Force captain. Never met him. I've heard he's a great guy. I've heard he's got numbers and names on the back of his shirt. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I actually finally got to play first football in 6 months for me. For the Ibis Freeze, and we travelled all the way up to High Barnet. There's actually not Ebog, East Barnet, Old Grammarians is actually not that far from Barnet's old ground, Underhill. It's actually like a couple of streets away. But yeah, it was one of them ones. Big shout out to Carl Bolton and Joe Elvin, the captain and vice captain of the Ibis Freeze. Because yeah, it was one of them ones. I walked because Carl Bolton lives down the road from me. He offered me a lift there and back. Went up to his, and as soon as I got there, it was like, "Hey, how you going?" And like, you're in goal today. And I'm like, "What? Are you ribbing me?" It was, and it was like, "No, you're in nets." And I'm like, "I haven't got any gloves." I kind of tried to weasel out of it. It's like, "But I haven't got any gloves anymore." And it was like, "No, there's gloves in the kit bag." I was like, "Oh, damn." And then when we got to the Ebog ground, which is a real nice old school ground, and actually there's a Pitch Talk Meets connection with East Barnet Old Grammarians because it's Andy Copeland who did a PT Meets with us. Pitch Talk Meets Andy Copeland, which is on YouTube. That's his local site, and he used to do their website back in the day as well. So there's one shout out to Andy Copeland, and. Yeah, it's a proper old school style clubhouse with Ebog FC on the boards as well as on the clubhouse. It's fantastic. But you know what? Yeah, it was one of them was where this match, I went into it with ring rust, but it was a case of I had missed playing so much. But it was good to see some of the guys as well. And the thing with this match, actually, we started off not too badly. It was one of them ones where Ebog, in my view, weren't all that good, but they kept trying to spring that ball over the top, and they were using the width. And their first goal actually came about midway through the first half. Bit of a sucker punch, actually, because at the time it was against the run of play, but it was from a free kick. So basically, picture this. Free kick on our right-hand side in the right back position, just outside the box. The ball was swung in by a right footer and basically went straight in. I had two men in the wall. I think it was Chris and Jose. I had two men in the wall. And it was a case of, like, I thought, yeah, I've got my front post covered. But then the ball got lofted to the far post, bounced, and went straight in. So with me in goal, I'm not a goalkeeper, as everyone knows. But no, Jamie, two men is your nickname. Don't try it. Try to shift it onto me again. But the fact is, yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of a disappointing goal to concede because at the end of the day, if someone had attacked the ball, it was an easy clearance. It would have been an easy clearance. But the second goal, I think it was actually from a corner. So from a corner from our left, their right, came in, and John Ewins went up for it. But similar to Saka with who was it? Abel Hernandez. Our teammate John Ewins actually got out jumped, and the ball was put right into the bottom right where I couldn't actually reach it. It was one of them ones where it was like just out of my reach. So the goals were sucker punches, but the one, I mean, they did hit the bar about 3 times, and I was forced into a couple of saves. And there was actually one funny moment within the first half as well, where basically their striker was through on goal, but it was ruled offside. And I kind of held at the edge of my box rather than rushing out. And I think it was Andrew Williams and a couple of the other guys. One of the other guys as well was like, why don't you come off your line? Why don't you come off your line? And I was like, listen, unless you want to come in and do this job, then handle my crap. Let me do what I'm doing. I didn't say crap exactly, but I said the other word for turd. Turd is the word. But yeah, it's one of them ones. The fact is, it was like, let me do what I'm doing, focus on what you're doing. I said it in the politest way possible. But the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, I think just looking at it as an outsider, not even as an outsider, from the outside coming in, it was a case of where like it was one of those matches where with my ring rust it was always going to be difficult, but hey, I tried what I can. I was willing to go and do what I can for the side, because at the end of the day the team is in need. We didn't have a keeper. I don't think Jamie was available this week, so the Freeze didn't have a keeper. I don't know where Chris Innard was either, so he wasn't available. So it's one of them ones where the cohesion, you can see there's positive signs, but the cohesion, it's just that cohesion. And there's a lot of new players. I mean, 7 players on the 13-man team sheet I actually didn't know the names of. I'd never met before. So when you're getting 7 new players in, there's always going to need that time. There was actually a penalty that we should have had as well. I think it was about 10, 15 minutes from the end. Stonewaller, absolute Stonewaller. And it was like, we were apoplectic that didn't get given. And less than 10 seconds later, outside the box, buddy, Jordan Mills got hauled down, no free kick. And it was like, and it was one of them ones where it was like how was either decision not been given? So it was frustrating. It was actually frustrating, but it's what it is. So we just got a text through from Big T. We'll read that in a sec. But yeah, we went down to a 2-0 defeat. But it's one of them ones where it could. It's one of them. There are positive signs, but there's a lot that needs to be worked on within the Freeze. So we'll see what happens. But you know what? Remember?
I want to ask you a couple of questions. I just want to know
without knocking down your mic stand.
Really and truthfully, how good does it feel to be back?
Oh, it felt bloody amazing. It was amazing to play my first game in 6 months. It was one of them. The rust was there. It was probably better that I went in goal than played at left back, because I probably would have blown up after about 10 minutes. But it was one of them ones where it felt fantastic to be back.
A great one. I'm
not going to be available this week, but the week after I'll be available again. So we'll see. But in terms of regular coming back, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what's happening with that yet. So, well, all I can say. But big shouts to the Ibis Freeze, by the way. It was good to be back. And after the game with a post-match burger and Doritos, it was good.
Man, that's all you missed, isn't it?
It's good. Yeah, of course, man. Food, man. Grassroots food. I love it. I'm hoping the next game's a home game so you can get them sandwiches and chips at the Old Meadonians at the Old Meadonians gaff. Yum. So it's one of them ones. But I said, man, if you want to play for Ibis Football Club at gmail.com, and also ibis.fc on Facebook, facebook.com/ibis.fc, and at ibis_football as well. By the way, big shout out to Alex Minchell, aka Minch. He actually put a little kind of highlights montage of the Ibis ones game away at Broomfield. There was a goal in there as well, so it is one of them ones. It was good. It was good stuff. You know what? Yeah, just want to read out a quick text from Big T. Throw them T's up for Big T. He said, can you make that rap at the beginning of the grassroots segment into a ringtone? Thought that went smooth as Ched Evans' court case. Oh, good gravy. Oh, Big T, Roman. Also, we love your opinion on Louis van Gaal and his reign so far at Man United. Do you believe he will last the season or get sacked? As a neutral, I can see Man United flopping in the FA Cup and finishing 9th in the table and missing out on Europe again. I think that will result in him getting the boot. And in my opinion, someone from the foursome of Carlo Ancelotti, Diego Simeone, Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola will take over next summer. What do you guys think from the other side of the tracks? Big T. A manager of Van Gaal's caliber, I think United will be challenging top 4. I said that at the beginning of the season. I think they will be challenging top 4. I don't think Van Gaal will get sacked over a year. Not a manager of his caliber and stature in the game. But what do you reckon, man? Before we move on in the grassroots side?
Well, if Man United finish where they are now or above, then Van Gaal's job's safe. To be honest, I think, like I said, in January he needs to buy solid defenders. That's all. Man United are top heavy.
Yeah, very much so.
And you know what I was saying before the show, hope Man United don't win. Hope Man United don't win, because if Man United get themselves
a bird upon my chest, man.
They get themselves some momentum.
Never know.
Never know.
Yeah, never know. They've got a good manager, good midfield, good attack. It's just the back line. Yeah. You know what? In terms of the grassroots segment, we continue on because Facebook.com/ParkGateFC at ParkGateFC on Twitter. www.pitchhero.com/clubs/ParkGateFC. They are based at Roundwood Pavilion, Green Lane, Rotherham, South Yorkshire, S62 6LA. The results from Parkgate FC. First team, 18th of October, Parkgate FC 1, Shore Lane Aquaforce 5. You just unplugged me.
Did I
unplug my headphones? I thought.
I don't know.
Yeah, you did briefly.
No, they're short.
There we go.
Sorry.
Wiggly. James Steer got the only goal for Parkgate FC on 59 minutes. But James Eels on 1 minute, 39 and 45. Kyle Nix scored on 8 minutes, and Lee Morris scored on 24 minutes for Shore Lane Aquaforce. The Parkgate FC reserves, New Bohemians drew 3-3 with Parkgate FC. And they've got the first team on 25th of October have got Nostell Miners Welfare away. And the reserves have got Shore Lane Aquaforce reserves at home. Also, a big shout out, thank you to Russ Vernon for that information on Parkgate FC. Also, big shout out to Porter's Soccerability. We've got their manager, who is Nigel Stewart. Their contact number is 07891839171. Their training venue is Cedar Hall School, Hearts Road, Thundersley, Essex, SS7 3UQ. Their Facebook page is facebook.com/Porters Soccerability. They've got 100 likes on their Facebook page. All good, man. Congrats. Training is every Saturday from 10 till 12, and tournaments are usually once a month for Porters Soccerability. Tom Wood also plays for that side as well. So good stuff. You know what? Yeah, gotta say, here's one of them ones. We were supposed to actually have a special guest. Big shout out to Dr. Colin King, by the way. And we did have something, and also a big shout out to Miss Joy Francis of Words of Color Productions. We'll get their details in a second. We've been forwarded a media briefing about the launch of a new social marketing brief about a launch of a new social marketing mental health campaign for African and Caribbean communities in Birmingham, which started on Thursday, 16th of October, 2014. Slap bang in the middle of Black History Month. So one of them was on October 16th at the Drum. Time to Change, England's biggest mental health anti-stigma campaign, launched an innovative 6-week social marketing campaign, mental health campaign, targeting African and Caribbean communities in partnership with Birmingham, the Solihull Mental Health Foundation Trust. The campaign, which will last until the 23rd of November, is also running in London in partnership with Lambeth Council. Exploring the theme, Forget the Label, Just Listen, the campaign activity will include events to facilitate social contact, which creates opportunities to learn from someone with a personal experience of mental illness, radio partnerships and adverts on buses and in washrooms in Birmingham. The Birmingham launch, hosted by BBC WM Radio's Nikki Tapper, took place at the leading intercultural arts centre, The Drum, with Birmingham City Council's mental health champion, Councillor Paulette Hamilton, and Reverend Deborah Harrison, founder of the Gospel Express Academy, alongside arts and crafts stalls, barbering activities, a pampering zone featuring massage and nail treatments, and special short film screenings with a hot buffet. Internationally acclaimed spoken word artist and poet Jean Binta Breeze, MBE, who has personal experience of mental health problems, performed at the event, while Time to Change champions from African and Caribbean communities in Birmingham were also scheduled to speak out about their personal experiences of mental health problems. During the campaign, some of the Time to Change volunteers will distribute leaflets and have conversations with people in various locations, including nightclubs, churches, hair salons, mosques, sporting events, and with community businesses. Having face-to-face conversations is one of the most powerful ways to challenge negative stereotypes and can help change attitudes in communities. Tailored events around sport and art promoting mental health awareness in London and Birmingham are expected to attract over 2,000 people, with volunteers making contact and engaging in thousands of stigma-challenging conversations. Brilliant stuff. From the 27th to the 31st of October, there will be a special Sports and Wellbeing Week hosted by Dr. Colin King, who is the founder of the Black and Asian Coaches Association, in partnership with Time to Change, Kick It Out, the Professional Footballers Association, PFA, and Lambeth Council, with guest speakers from the world of sport, including Clark Carlisle and Michael Bennett as well. So this week of action will use sporting heritage and sport figures through events and radio conversations to promote positive approaches and the resilience needed to survive mental health and inspire a more effective use of mental health resources, as well as working with parents and sports practitioners, including football coaches. Most of the sports activities will focus on young people from 5 to 19 years old. Building for the future, I like that. Over 90% of people from Black and minority ethnic communities with mental health problems face discrimination because of their condition. Nationally, Black men are 17 times more likely to be diagnosed with a serious mental health illness than their white counterparts. Yet the National Center for Social Research states that African and Caribbean people do not have a higher prevalence of mental ill health than any other ethnic group. So again, challenging stigma, challenging stereotypes. One of them ones. To find out more about the campaign, the events being run, and how you can get involved, from making a pledge, host an event, starting your own conversation, or listening to one, visit www.time-2-change.org.uk/forget the label. That's www.time-2-change.org.uk/forget the label. As said, the launch event was on Thursday, October 16th, 2014, up in Birmingham at the Drum. You can follow the campaign activities on Twitter at Time2Change is the Twitter handle, and please use the hashtag of #Time2Talk. So that information was provided to us by Joy Francis, the Executive Director of Words of Colour Productions, www.wordsofcolour.co.uk, and at Words of Colour on Twitter, and facebook.com/Words of Colour Productions. They also host Digital Women UK as well, www.digitalwomen.co.uk. Sorry, www.digitalwomenuk.co.uk. So, big time shout outs to Dr. Colin King. Big shout outs to Joy Francis as well. And it's one of them ones, man. It's fantastic stuff. Dr. Colin King, the founder of the Black and Asian Coaches Association, in partnership with Time to Change, Kick It Out, the PFA, and Lambeth Council. Fantastic initiative. Remember, people, it's time to change. It's one of those time to change. Time to Talk. Remember, that website is www.time-2-change.org/forget the label. Events going on up in Birmingham, and from the 27th to the 31st of October 2014, there'll be events going on in London in association with Lambeth Council as well. So fantastic stuff, and a big thank you to Joy Francis for providing us with that information. G-Man, thoughts on that? The initiative?
Well, the initiative is a good initiative, and you know, like you said, big shout out to Joe Francis. It's a pretty upset that Colin couldn't join us today.
Yeah. We had it
too earlier. But yeah.
No, I think it's a great initiative, because at the end of the day, mental health. Hey, health is wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually speaking to my landlord earlier. And we were talking about you got to have your mind right, then your body right, not the other way around. You got to have your mind right. As long as you're strong mentally, then physical strength will come as well. So it's just of utmost importance. And at the end of the day, there shouldn't be a stigma around mental health anymore. Because at the end of the day, anyone can be susceptible to mental health issues.
Yeah.
And black men being 17% more likely than their white counterparts to in terms of becoming victims of mental health issues or mental illness. Hey, that resonates with me. As a black man myself, that very much resonates with me. So it's one of them. It's crucial.
Do you want to talk about it?
I've got nothing to really talk about in regards to that. But
that was very inappropriate.
But at the end of the day, it's one of them ones. Hey, it's one of them ones. #time to talk. I don't know. That's the hashtag @time to change is the Twitter handle. So good stuff. Good stuff. You know what? It is time for us to switch segments. And you know what? We have a lot to go through. Let us know if we've got anything on social, because it'd be very interesting. But all right, let's go into a bit of yeah. What's up with that? What's up with that? G-Man, what's shaking, man?
Not bad. Just being here on the socials. First of all, let me just go to Twitter. Send a few big shout outs. Obviously, big shout out to Big T, who's he's joined us from home and he's listening live and just causing a havoc on Twitter airways. Also, big shout out to Gigi Condixia. I think I've pronounced that right.
That's Gus Condesha. Hey, Gus, what's up, man? Yeah, he does the Alexandra Park FC newsletter. So, Gus, how's it going, man?
Well, he said
gotta get in touch with him.
Basically, he said late night writing and Pitch Talk podcast. So he's listened to us on the podcast, which is great. And he said, Pitch Talk, I have been listening and I will listen to most of the recent show tomorrow as it's another long hour. So
man. Thanks, Gus. Appreciate it.
So yeah, big shout out to them. And moving on to Facebook slightly, because I've been sneaking
in a conversation.
I've been sneaking off slightly, getting involved in a little conversation, and in regards to earlier today's match with Bahrainio scoring, and a great goal it was. But from that group that you're part of,
post-match playmakers. Yeah.
Post-match playmakers. Been talking to
big shout out to Craig Django Gilbert, by the way. The RKO thing, as I said, the RKO thing in that Scottish match. It was a Bubba cutter. Look at the technique of it. I did actually provide examples to back up that. It's the technique. There's slight variations between the RKO, the Bubba cutter, and there's a big difference between the RKO and the diamond cutter. Big variation.
Come on, he couldn't get his legs up that high.
It's one of them ones. Hey, if people are going to drop OWRs, you got to know what you're talking about. And Craig does. Craig Django Gilbert does know what he's talking about. So in them words, he's the one in the post-match playmakers group who, like, whenever I drop an OWR, 9 times out of 10, he'll be the only one who'll know what I'm talking about. I love that. It's all those. I can drop OWRs and someone knows what I'm talking about. Because whenever I drop them, most of them. Gerald knows quite a few of them as well. So it's one of them as well.
But you found your wrestling soul, mate.
I think Craig's a Chelsea fan, so that's the only drawback. That's the only Jovino drawback to that one.
Getting back to it, Tyrone Dominique, you mentioned earlier, basically it was just we've been going back and forth about Bahrainio and England basically, and
because he's an under 21.
Yeah, he's an under 21, and where should I start? Briefly start. So I reckon, do you reckon he should be in the England first team, or are there just too many better players for him to get in front of?
I wouldn't have him in that yet. There's not. I don't want players rushed personally.
Okay, and Dominic's of the same inkling of you, because he said nope, keep him under 21s. That's what I mean by wasted. Look at Sterling and others before him. Yeah. Now there's been also Ryan Bailey within them, and he said if he keeps scoring all season, I don't see why not. Dominic has said and that is why England have always failed. And then he's added burnout and the youngsters before they burn out the youngsters before they can actually be nurtured properly. Yeah. They will never learn.
Yeah.
We
fast track players.
Ryan Bailey's basically agreed to that, and then I've jumped in and said personally I'm liking the new introduction of some of the young talent. England have lacked the hunger and fire which youth can bring. Agree with some youth. Some players should be held back, but Sterling, I think he would be wasted in the under 21s when England's seniors have been calling out for a nippy, good dribbling winger. Mourinho, maybe it's a bit too early for him, especially when you've got the likes of Wazza, Welbs, Lambie, and Walcott in front of him.
I think it's one of them ones. We are too quick to rush players up from under 21 level.
Yeah.
Before players can properly get seasoned. But then Premier League clubs do the same with some young players. It's like 1 or 2 good games, boom, instant first team regular. It's like they don't end up paying their dues. They get everything so quickly, and then it's like it's funny that Michael Owen was commenting about, Sterling can't possibly be burned out when he had the same thing.
A good point.
And he was younger. He was 17 when he was debuting. Mm-hmm. Well, 16, 17. So it's one of them ones.
Yeah.
Sounds like an interesting
conversation. It was interesting. And you can see the rest of that if you join Playmakers.
Yeah, but join Post-Match Playmaker Facebook group. It's one of them ones. Big shout out to them.
And I hope some of them are joining us on the show as secret listeners.
I know Craig Django Gilbert downloads our podcast as well. So thank you, Craig. Appreciate it. You know what, yeah? What's up with that? Don't salute too soon. France under 21 player mocked after his celebration. From Wednesday, 15th of October 2014, with 3 minutes to play, the France defender Lavien Kurzawa popped up in the Sweden box and sent a diving header past their flaming goalkeeper. That's one part of it. The comeback was off. The comeback was off. Sweden had battled well, but the momentum was now with France, who led on away goals. Kurzawa celebrated with the arrogance of a man who has not yet read the rest of the script. He started doing all that. Tell me you've seen it.
I ain't seen it.
There's a link in the shoulder.
I haven't seen
it. It's one of them ones where it is absolutely hilarious because he found the Sweden striker John Guidetti and threw an aggressive salute into his face. He was like that, proper on it. But he would regret that idea later. With only 2 minutes to play, France were on their way to Euro 2015. They just had to hold on to their narrow lead, but they conceded a free kick deep in their half, and Lewicki nicked it to the box and scored his second of the night and Sweden's fourth. France were beaten, Sweden were through, and Kurzawa was left with egg on his face. There was a Twitter picture afterwards with the whole squad going like that, doing the salute, mockage. But you know what? Hey, Kurzawa, you've learned a lesson. You learned a lesson the hard way. And you know what? You celebrating before it was time, you get a rating of
-5 stars.
And also, hey, Kurzawa, karma's a BI. Well, karma sucks, don't it? Or I'll let Vinnie Max say it for me. Kurzawa. Oh, right. It's one of them ones.
You know what I'd say?
That was mad.
Just like the Premiership, it's too fast to be, getting it.
The only thing for sure is nothing's for sure. Stuff changes. Brawl at Serbia v Albania match after drone cam stops play. This from the 15th as well. The European qualifier between Serbia and Albania was abandoned in the first half following an extraordinary incident involving a drone cam, which resulted in a brawl between players from both sides. The Group I game in Belgrade was interrupted when a banner displaying pro-Albanian symbols was flown over the terraces and the pitch by what appeared to be a drone cam. One of them ones. That is mad. Serbia defender Stefan Mitrovic eventually grabbed the banner, which is hugely inflammatory in the Balkans, prompting a melee involving numerous players. Riot police then moved in, and when a dozen fans invaded the pitch trying to attack the Albanians, and the players were ordered off by Premier League referee Martin Atkinson. After a delay of around 30 minutes, the match was abandoned. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. You know what? Speaking of crazy as well, also from the 15th of October 2014, Brazilian star Leandro Damião has given Tottenham fans an extraordinary glimpse of the sort of skullduggery they might have witnessed at White Hart Lane. The 25-year-old was a target for Spurs for what felt like several years before Spurs finally gave up, and Internacional ended up selling him to Santos. And it was with his new club that the striker tried to pull off an astonishing trick to buy a penalty. The dude pulled his own shirt, literally. Thankfully, the match officials. Yeah. Thankfully, the officials weren't fooled, but neither did they give Damião a yellow card for simulation. So they weren't fooled. But it's a case of Leandro Damião.
-5 stars.
Dude's literally running into the penalty area, and he goes like this, pulls his own shirt, and drops to the ground.
And you're telling me they didn't give...
Have a look.
No, but I'm just about to ask you.
It's atrocious.
They didn't give him a yellow card.
No, it's atrocious. Mate, it's one of them ones. If you thought Moses was cheating, you want to see Leandro Damião. That was terrible.
Consistency.
That was one of them ones where dude needs to get drop kicked in the face for that conduct. Mate, pulling your own shirt, then fall into the ground to try and win a penalty. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. I'm sorry. That's flop of the week contention.
Whatever happened to yellow card for diving?
Referees. Botchamania. Botchamania. It's one of them ones. The refs are botching.
Yeah.
Badly.
But
let's see. Speeches. If any of the Skypers want to jump in, please let us know. But speeches. I would say, you know what? Yeah. Here's one of them ones where we got to pause that track because it is time for us to switch into the final segment of the show. We're on the home straight of your Monday Night Football and Fix. So let's look at Here's what there was. Let's move and groove into
pitch talk. Stuff of the week.
Hey. Every Monday night, this is Pitch Talk. Monday night, football in fix. Big shouts to the Skypers and Big T and all the hoes watching on the YouTube feed and the podcast. Because it's Monday night. Pitch talk. And it's Monday night. Let's go into some stuff of the week to round out the show. And a big shout out to, I think on Twitter, we were talking yesterday with @EllaBella's Twits.
EllaBella Twits.
There we go. So a big shout out to her. Hopefully she's listening. Also, yeah, many shout outs to everyone listening and everyone tuned in as well. You know what? Yeah, stuff of the week. Let's start with goal of the week. Goal of the week. As much as I was impressed with a lot of goals, I have to say Wesley Sneijder deserves goal of the week for his 2 goals in the Galatasaray Fenerbahce derby. I can't look any. I told her that in my baby. To quote New Jack, I can't look any further than Wesley Sneijder. I can't pick between those 2 goals. They were amazing. So it's one of them ones. By the way, Virginie deserves honorable mention. Great finish. G-Man, who you got for goal of the week?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say Paul Pogba's, yeah, but I've got to say Sessegnon's. Sessegnon's goal
today. Yeah.
Sessegnon's goal today.
It was good.
It was a good team goal and a great finish at the end of it.
Tom Wood, who you got for goal of the week?
The 2 Rotherham players, Vincent Clark-Barris and Alex Ravel.
All because Lee's got beaten again. I love it. Wayne Schumann, goal of the week.
Just as a individual goal, I thought it was a class goal. I'm gonna have to give it to Sanchez.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
That is a very good shout. Very good shout. Let's go for Mike Harneman, goal of the week.
Yeah, I like Sessegnon's. I thought Sessegnon's was a good finish. So was Sanchez as well. But I'm going to give my goal of the week to the Stevenage winner of the weekend. Goal scored by Charlie Lee.
Good shout. Positive result as well. Jamie Bailey, goal of the week.
I'm going to go. Well, I said I wasn't going to stick with any of the Premiership teams. Or is it Premier League, should I say? I'm going to go with the. There was a goal in the, I think it was the Fleetwood game where he actually backheeled it into the goal.
Oh, okay.
And also last week when we didn't actually get to mention about any team goals, any goals of the week.
Well, we got to keep it to this week.
Man City's goal as well.
Cool.
Against Chelsea last week.
Let's keep it to this week, just because of time. Just because time is pressing on, and plus.
I'll go with O'Shea this week for against Germany.
Great shout. Let's go, Russ Vernon. Who you got for goal of the week?
Honourable mention to John O'Shea against Germany and Johnson Clark-Harris against us. But for me, it's Virginie. Quality own goal.
Oh, that's cruel. That is good. That is cruel and a half. That is cruel and a half, right? It's one of them ones. It works. Let's go for player of the week. Player of the week, Sergio Aguero. Too easy for me. Sergio Aguero, player of the week. Dude ran Tottenham into the ground himself.
You know what?
Dude scored 4 times, missed the penalty, but still scored 4 times. And they were quality goals as well. Sergio Aguero, player of the week.
Honorable mention to Sergio Aguero. But player of the week. Players. Sorry, so I'm going players, and I know this will equate to team as well. Yeah, but I'm going players of the week. Yeah.
And we're not talking imaginary players.
I was going to say me, you, and Jesse, but if you don't want to, if you don't want a title,
but what's the reason? I was going to say, what would the reasoning be behind that?
I'm going to shift on. No. People don't need to know.
He's the Godfather. Anyway.
We don't kiss or tell.
All I can say is I told him.
I've been told stop doing that. It makes me sound like I'm doing things I'm not. But
I know where you're going with that as well.
No. But player of the week. Player of the week. Honorable mention to Aguero, but honestly, I think I am going to give this one to Neymar. He was in my mind from last week for getting his 4 goals against Japan, and yeah, I'm going to stick with that because I wanted to mention something about it earlier, but we didn't get around to him.
Okay, I was gonna say, you know what? When you were talking a second ago, you just reminded me of this.
This girl sent me this picture of a little baby, and it was in a town that I had never been in before. And she sent me this picture. She said, "New Jack, this is your baby." And the baby looked like a pigeon with a spiked hairdo. I swear to God, I told her that ain't my baby.
One of the most, you literally just reminded me of that. But you know what? Yeah. Actually, you know, I know. Go ahead, Russ Vernon, player of the week.
For me, Liam, I'm going to agree with you, Sergio Aguero, and I'm also going to give an honourable mention to you, Liam, for making your comeback for Ibis. Well done, mate. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate that, man. It was a one-time deal, and it will happen again in 2 weeks. But it's one of them ones. I'm hoping to get back regularly. I'm not being goal. Yeah. Jamie's harsh. See, he has grabbed this shirt. He's grabbed this. You can see he's grabbed this shirt. It's one of them ones. It's a soft penalty. I'm not doubting that. But if Angel Rang that shirt, there's no smoke. There's no smoke without fire, and the ref ain't got a reason to give the penalty.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Anyway.
No, it's one of them. Jamie Bailey, who are you going for? Player of the week.
I wouldn't even go with player of the week this week. It's manager of the week, and I still don't know why he hasn't actually got the job at the club. Kit Simons got 4 wins out of 6, and literally still is on the short list for the manager's job. Maybe he might be signed up for Wenger's replacement.
Oh, I don't know if I'll go that far, but still. Mike Hardiman, who are you going for? Player of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, really, and say Aguero, 4 goals against Tottenham. And like you said earlier, it was basically just Aguero against Tottenham on his own with the 4 goals in that game. So that's my shout for this week.
Good shout. Wayne Schumann, player of the week.
I'm going to have to give it to Chambers. Callum Chambers. I think he's been playing really well for Arsenal the last few weeks.
I hear that. Tom Wood, player of the week.
The 2 match winners against Leeds.
Tom loves why I did that, Russ. All I can say is, you know what, Rick Ross does deserve an honourable mention for player of the week. Firstly, because this is hilarious, but also, hey, that dude's half the man he used to be, literally. And all I can say is,
Rick Ross, triple cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, right in the back of my Maybach, eating a turkey burger. This McDonald's so magnificent. Eat with me or eat away from me. This is Burger King music.
I have to say, because when I saw the stuff about Rick Ross's weight loss, it just reminded me of that. Ain't no more triple cheese, lettuce, tomatoes. Ain't talking munchies when I say my mate's eating now. Oh my God. Let's go team of the week. Team of the week, Southampton. Who are you going for?
I'm going to be slightly different here and say not the team of the week, Sunderland. Southampton are my team of the week.
Okay. Tom Wood, team of the week.
Rotherham.
Liberties. Russ Vernon, team of the week.
Honourable mention to Southampton. But for me, Shoreline Aquaforce doing very well in the Northern Counties East League. Won 5-1 away at Parkgate, and they've only lost 1 game all season.
Great shout. Great shout. Wayne Schumann, who are you going for? Team of the week.
After 2 awful back-to-back defeats, going to be Stevenage for getting a 2-1 victory on Saturday.
Good shout. Mike Hardiman, team of the week.
Yeah, honourable mention to Stevenage for me as well, but I'm going to have to give it to Southampton for not just the win at the weekend, but the way they're still continuing the season.
Well, that was, you know what? Yeah. Let's go. Jamie Bailey, team of the week.
I don't think anybody's actually been surprised by this, but Watford for bringing in 4 different managers and still continue to be top of the league, and Fulham.
Not bad shouts there. At all. Flop of the week. I think it's going to be pretty unanimous, but Sunderland. I could not look any further than Sunderland. I really can't. On the pitch, to get mauled in the way they did. I mean, there's an honourable mention to refereeing decisions, but at the end, some refereeing decisions. But the fact of the matter is, Sunderland were
-5 stars.
not. They could be -8 stars. I mean, it was mad because Sunderland fans were definitely thinking,
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
They were definitely thinking that. But to those Sunderland fans during that match, it was a case of
Life sucks, and then you die.
was that. So, G-Man, flop of the week.
Well, you know what? I've got 3, and I'll keep them quick. Sunderland definitely can't lose 8-0. Like Mike Kahneman said, though, it's a blip. Hopefully, refereeing Michael Oliver and East. I think John East. Both of those referees were shambolic. Like John East got booed at the Emirates. He got told he doesn't know what he's doing. And then also this tweeter, and this is another one from PMP, Playmakers.
Post-match Playmaker, yeah.
Post-match Playmakers. And but Sandra East, as a joint Man United and Chelsea fan, yes, as a joint Man United and Chelsea fan, I know about good man management. Moyes was a weight on Fellaini. Now he's gone, he can shine. Apparently, that's a tweet that was sent into BBC.
I was going to say, I love the fact that, there are so many things wrong with this fan's tweet to BBC. Yeah, there is a lot wrong with that. Yeah. Oh. All I can say is that supporter deserves the rating of
-5 stars.
because just for the pure reason that with that tweet that Craig Django Gilbert has brought attention to on the post-match Playmaker group.
Reminds us of someone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. With that tweet, I'm just thinking to myself,
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
that's all I got to say. You know what? Yeah. Let's go. Jamie Bailey, flop of the week.
Gonna go with, well, it was outside the leagues again, outside the Premier League. I'm gonna go with Juventus, and I'm actually surprised that PSG are still not top. So yeah, Juve and PSG.
Nah, I hear that. Russ Vernon, flop of the week.
It's going to come from non-league, Liam, and it's not Stoles, Manners' Welfare. They've only picked up 2 points this season so far. They got Ahmed 6-1 against Worksop Town at the weekend, and they're losing 4-1 at half time.
I hear that. Tom Wood, flop of the week.
Leeds.
Wayne Schumann, flop of the week.
Yeah, I've got 2. Definitely Sunderland, but I'm going to have to say Leeds United. And Russ, can I add at the end of that? Ha, 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 ha.
Oh!
Another Yorkshire derby defeat.
Liberties. Mike Hardiman, flop of the week.
As well, I'm going to say Arsene Wenger for the comments that he come out with after the Arsenal and Hull game at the weekend.
Why did you not see
and
the
obviously for the interview. And obviously, I'm going to go with Sunderland as well. Hopefully, there's another 8 goals you can see against us at the weekend. If you want to continue with this blip, please make it last a bit longer.
That's cruel. You know, Big T has texted in. Player of the week, Roy Carroll, for his amazing performances and goal for both Northern Ireland and Notts County over the past 2 weeks. Absolute legend. Goal of the week, Johnson Clark-Harris's winning goal for Rotherham against Leeds and sending them closer to relegation. Team of the week, my boys Notts County for going 8 unbeaten in the league last weekend and having the best defensive record. And flop of the week, non-football related, but Ben Flower from Rugby for losing the plot and punching the living daylights out of an opposition player. Madness! Madness. This is rugby. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. But you know what? Yeah, big time shout outs to Big T. We gotta throw the T's up there as usual. You know what? G-Man. It's time for us to start vacating the place with a haste. And we'll give you a wave on the YouTube feed. And to those listening on the podcast, thank you very much as well. You know what? It is time for us to start vacating base with the haste as the American Dream Dusty Road comes back in, baby. Big shout outs to everybody who has joined us tonight. But it's time for
I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk. Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samir Swanee, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man, and Jesse Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch, of course, is where we talk. You know what? www.pitch-talk.com is the official website where you can find out about everything Pitch Talk. At Pitch Talk on Twitter, facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we are working so hard to create. Pitch Talk, at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we're up to. 07535804466 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views. Also, it must be said, baby. Oh my God. One of them was youtube.com/Pitch Talk for all of our videos, including Pitch Talk meets, Pitch Talk at the Cup Finals, and much, much more. Much, much more. You know what? So much more as well. Pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs, including blogs by yours truly, Straight Shooting LJ, the G-Man, Jesse Fizzle, and many, many more, including Ross Vernon, Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt, Dave Meir, aka at Mercy on Twitter, and many more. You know what? Yeah, it's been mad. It's been mental again on the show tonight. But yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been lot of fun. A big thank you to the Skypers who joined us. And that includes Ross Vernon, Mike Horniman, Tom Wood, Jamie Bailey, Wayne Schumann, and also Ian Kerr, the editor of Thin White Line magazine. Big shout outs to him with his A-League roundup. And remember, on the thinwhitelinemagazine.com shop, you can get, as a Pitch Talk listener, you can get 25% off this week. 25% off everything in the thinwhitelinemagazine.com shop. So jump over there and get yourself a nice little discount for being a PT supporter and one of the PT family. All good. You know what? It is one of them ones. We also briefly had Lily Alumi on the chat as well. But it's one of them was also big shout outs to Jesse Fizzle. As you'll remember, Man United, the West Brom ended 2-2. Just as we were watching highlights of the one from 2013, that was 5-4. Mad. But it's one of them was also big time shout outs to Words of Color Productions. And also time to change on Twitter and hash time to talk for that particular event up in Birmingham. You can follow that campaign. And big shout out to Dr. Colin King, founder of the Black and Asian Coaches Association, who in partnership with Time to Change, Kick It Out, and the PFA and Lambeth Council are actually running an event which started on October 16th at the Drum in Birmingham, a social marketing mental health campaign for African and Caribbean communities in Birmingham. Big time shout outs. You know, big shout outs to Motivate Sports and Fitness, big shout outs to Thin White Line magazine, big shout outs to the Section 357 show, and also big shout outs to Girls on the Ball. Remember, We have been your Monday Night Footballing Fix on behalf of myself, Straight Shooting LJA.
And me, the G-Man.
And also Jesse Fizzle as well, sends his regards. We say thank you very much.
And
good night.